I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing, she loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K. I know you heard me on the radio. Flexing, she loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.
Fury fam, Miami Dolphins fans, welcome to another week of discussion on our team. We were off last week. Greg's hyped already. He's got like a hoodie on. I can see him. You can't see him. All right. And I don't even know what Shake's setup's going to be because he's not on yet. But apparently he did like a goal post and he's got. So we about to get crazy on this show. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know I did. I ate a whole hell of a lot of stuff. I had a great time. I saw family. I saw friends. I kicked it. And it was nice to see the Patriots go down. We wish the Bills would have gone down. It was close. It was close, wasn't it? It looked like they were about to go down. It really did. The Lions really had something. And, you know, the Lions were at home. And you're rooting for Detroit because, you know, they every Thanksgiving they're out there, the Detroit faithful. Every year they're out there. They're repping. They're cheering. They care. And every year the Lions lose, not every year, but most years, the damn Lions lose, and it just sucks. And we were rooting for the Lions. We wanted the Lions to do their thing. They didn't do their thing, but hey, the Vikes did. The Vikes beat the Pats. It's always nice. Leave the Pats in purgatory. I don't want the Pats to be relevant at all. They had their time. Like, I'd rather the damn Jets be relevant than the damn Pats. Like let the Pats go by the wayside. I don't care. I don't want to deal with the Pats, no matter how you slice it. Okay, so that was a good thing. And then obviously the most important aspect of everything that occurred was that the Miami Dolphins took care of business against the Houston Texans, which I already did a video you guys saw about that. We did what we had to do against the Texans. Had we lost to the Texans, man, I think it would have been like disastrous. You can't lose to the Texans. Not the way we've been playing, not the way things have been going. It can't happen. So we did what we had to do. We took care of business. Now, of course, we all know that we had the scare, right? So it wasn't, it started off. The game started off pretty nice. We're taking care of business and we're dominating. And, even though I got to be honest, so Tua said in the interviews leading up to the game last week, Tua said that he almost wished that he didn't have a bye. And it's funny because I've noticed something different about this team as far as taking care of business and their dedication to winning that, I really haven't been around. And I mean, it might be different for some other fan bases where their teams maybe have had a different mentality. But as long as I can remember the last several years, I just recall Miami Dolphins press conferences and things around the holidays and especially around bye weeks. Every bye week was like a celebration of the vacation since I could remember, right? They're always like doing video features on what this guy did during the bye, what that guy did during the bye. It's never football oriented. It's always like a break. It's always a vacation. And they're always joking about, we did this for the holidays, we did that. It was interesting listening to Tua and his press conference, the day before Thanksgiving and leading up to the holiday weekend. Him kind of saying he wasn't talking at all about, oh, I did this in the bye. The bye came at a great time. I was glad to get some time off. He wasn't saying anything like that. What Tua said was, I didn't really know what to do with myself over the bye. I kind of tried to go to a Panthers game just to try to forget about the fact that I wanted to be working. I didn't really know how to live because I live, eat, and breathe football, and it was weird to be away from the guys, so we tried to get workouts together and whatnot. And then he actually said, he said, this is his words, I almost wish we didn't have a bye. He's like, because I didn't want to get out of rhythm. And it's interesting because when you look at the game, it kind of reminded me a little bit, not to the same extent, but a little bit of that Pittsburgh game where we came in and how the team looks on a regular basis, especially the offense. You know how the team looks on a regular basis. it's clicking. It's dominant. It's just almost unstoppable, this offense these days. And when you looked at the team come into the game Sunday, you saw a little bit of rust. Just a tad of rust. And I think what Tua said when he said, I almost wish I didn't have the bye because, we were a little rusty. I think it made sense, right? I mean, you get in a rhythm, and then you take time off. It kind of takes you out of your rhythm. So anyway, where I was going with all that is, we started off the game. We were dominant. We were putting up points. We scored 30 on them in the first half. And we were clicking to the extent you'd want to click in the sense that this was a blowout. There was no real question about whether we were going to win, whether we were going to lose. There was no biting our nails. There was no holding our breath. There was none of that. But at the same time, it could have been even better. Like, we had been scoring touchdowns like almost every offensive drive unless something catastrophic happened or unless the defense really set us back. But this last game, you saw us kind of stumble. We had to kick 2 field goals. We couldn't move the ball as efficiently as we had been doing the last couple weeks. And that's fine. I'm not saying that that's a big issue or anything. I'm just saying we had to knock some rust off. What's a little disappointing is that Armstead goes out. Teron Armstead goes out with the pectoral partial tear. We later found out, level 2 strain, which some reporters are saying actually amounts to a partial tear. And anyway, no matter what that is, we're going to get to that in a minute. When he goes out, you hear McDaniel tell the sideline reporter, look, we understand Tua might have to sit. We're off to a great start, but at the same time, there's a lot of things Tua wants to clean up. And I completely understand that. I completely understand that Tua would want to clean up some things because he was rusty. But all of us, me sitting on the couch with all my family and the commentators on TV, everybody's sitting there saying, that I could see, everybody sitting there saying, pull him out already. Take him out. Get him out. I mean, because he was just getting hit and pummeled. Play after play, he was getting pummeled. Play after play, he was getting hit. And so you had to pull him out, and they did pull him out. The downside to that is, it was a fun game. It started off nice. It started off how you wanted it to start off. But then in the second half, we really didn't do what we wanted to do. We didn't get to see the rust fully come off. We didn't get to see them really click on all cylinders because with Armstead out, you just really couldn't take those chances. And with Armstead out, the offense just doesn't function the same way we're used to it functioning. So I said on the recap video, and I'll say it again here, I don't think that that's indicative of the team, even if Armstead were to miss a couple games. I don't think we're going to be as bad as we saw in the second half on Sunday. And the reason for that is when you have a guy go out unexpectedly and it changes the entire course of the game and it changes the entire game plan, it changes the personnel, it changes the rhythm on the fly, it's a little different than when, those types of things change, and it's week to week and you have a week to prepare and you have a week to get ready. And you have a week to really, strategize as to how to compensate for that loss. So even if Armstead misses some time, I don't think we're going to look as bad as we did in the second half. That doesn't mean we're not going to have to worry if he's out for a couple games because it obviously changes our offense. And obviously, everybody talks about Hill, and Hill is obviously a huge addition. Everybody talks about McDaniel and how he's developed Tua, and that's obviously a huge, huge thing, as is Darrell Bevell. But another huge thing is obviously Teron Armstead. I mean, it was evident in the game that Teron Armstead is also a big reason why this offense is functioning the way it is. You give Tua time to throw the ball and to hit his receivers and for guys to get open, especially downfield, and you're going to have the type of numbers that Tua's putting up. You're going to have the type of numbers that this offense is able to put up, and you're going to be able to do things that way. So long story short, we took care of business. And people could say all they want. I've already seen it on ESPN and all these other networks, NFL Network, especially on WFAN with Bart Scott and all these other nonsense, all week talking about, well, it's kind of funny how people only remember some like recent things. They don't remember the whole picture. They only thinking about what just happened. They never have any long vision. They never have any perception that's further in depth than just yesterday. All of a sudden, you have all these people say, well, who have the Dolphins beat? Who have they beat? It's like they're forgetting our schedule early in the season. We started off 3-0, beating New England, beating Baltimore on the road. We beat Baltimore and Lamar Jackson on the road. And they're like, well, you needed a comeback for that. Who cares? You need a What do you mean? We were scoring, they were scoring, and at the end of this 60 minutes, we scored more. We all made plays. They scored earlier, we scored later. What do you mean we needed a comeback? As if needing a comeback is something. Like it doesn't count because we had to come back. What are you talking about? We beat Lamar. We beat the Bills. With Josh Allen, you get the Bills. Oh, they didn't have our secondary. Well, we didn't have Teron Armstead for a couple games. We didn't have our starting right tackle, Austin Jackson, since week 1. We haven't had Byron Jones, our best corner, which no one understands that Byron Jones is our best corner. X is our second best corner. The reason X is the bigger name is because X gets all the turnovers. The reason X gets all the turnovers is because they actually throw his way because Byron's shutting the guy on the other side of the field down. They don't even throw over there. We've been missing Byron the entire season. He's never played. He probably will not play this year. Trill Williams, who is our number 4, has been out since training camp. And then Nick Needham went down early. I'm not trying to go through this. I'm just saying all these commentators are, who have the Dolphins beat? Just because our latest stretch was easier teams. Who has beaten us with Tua? You know what the answer is? No one. No one's beat us when Tua's played a whole game. No one. So, yeah, the Jets beat us. We didn't have Tua, and Teddy Bridgewater was the starter, and 1 play or 2 plays in, he's knocked out. Since he beat us, yeah, pretty fair and square. I was there. I mean, that was a loud atmosphere. It was going to be a tough game no matter what. But, hey, Tua was knocked out, and by the end of the game, Teddy almost beat him. It was a close game. Vikings, same thing. Skyler goes out. It's still a tight game. So, whatever. I'm not crying about those 3 losses, but everybody else wants to act like, oh, who have they beaten? Let me tell you something. If you look around the NFL, look at some of these teams that other teams have lost to. Philadelphia lost to the Commanders. Baltimore lost to the Giants. I know the Giants have a good record, but the Giants starting to come back to earth. I mean, you could look at any team, and a lot of teams have lost to teams that are supposedly lesser than them. And yet we haven't. No lesser than us team has beaten us. Cincinnati's a playoff contender. The New York Jets have a really good record, probably one of the top 5 defenses in the league. And we were on our 3rd quarterback, unexpectedly, on the road. And the Vikings, who beat the Bills, who beat the Pats, who are one of the best records in the NFL, again without Tua, beat us. So you could say all day, who have we beaten? Well, we've beaten everybody on our schedule except those 3 teams, which are good teams, and we were in a tough situation. We're a playoff contender. Come see us. So I don't want to hear it. I predicted that we would win these games. And by the way, if you guys have not done it yet, smash the subscribe button. Smash the subscribe button. Smash the like button. And if you want your comment highlighted, Super Chat. Super Chat is open, man. It's a donation. It helps the channel, and you're highlighted, and I'll give special attention. The whole panel will give special attention to what you're saying. So smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. You really need to. We're at like 1,191. Let's get to at least 1,200 by the end of tonight, please. Let's get to 1,200 by the end of tonight. Let's stop playing with this channel. Let's stop playing with this channel. Smash it. Smash the like button. Send the super chat. Smash the super donation. Whatever. But anyway, don't tell me who have we beaten. I predicted we beat all these teams. If we had lost to any one of those teams, we would be in a way different position, and it's the NFL. Every week, every team can beat anybody. There's no D2 teams. There's no FCS schedule. There's none of that. Every team's formidable. We beat who's on our schedule. Now, San Francisco has also beaten who's on their schedule. And San Francisco has not beaten that many great teams either. So this is going to be an interesting showdown. But don't think for 1 second, just because San Francisco hasn't beat these huge, high caliber teams, that they're somehow not formidable, that we don't have to worry about them. Yeah, we do have to worry about them. They're a good team because they've beaten everybody on their schedule that they're supposed to beat too. Just like us. This is a tough game. Cap, what's up, bro? This is a tough game. But we are up to the task. We are up to the task. And actually, here's the thing. As a fan, I invite this last leg of this schedule in December. I invite it. Because I want to know where this team is. Because guess what? This is this coach's first year. This is this coach's first year. This is Larry Crane. Thanks for the super sticker there. This is this team's first year. This is this quarterback's third year, his first year really hitting his stride. And we may need to add a couple pieces, that's fine. But I want to see what happens in this stretch. And I'm ready for this stretch. I think we could take it. I'm ready for it. I honestly am not scared of the Chargers. So you saw the Chargers were flexed to a night game, a primetime game, which is huge. Let's take on the 49ers. Now, the biggest news we got this week, and I'm going to put it to the panel in a minute. I'm going to bring Greg and Shake on in a second. The biggest news we got just in the last day was funny. I was worried when we came out of Houston. Because of the Armstead injury and how much it changes our offense, especially going up against Bosa over in San Francisco, especially on this crazy road trip we have coming up. But the first bit of news I got was that Armstead only had a strain in his pec and that he's coming back this year. We just don't know when. And I released that on the one recap video that I had. Then the second piece of news I got was just today. Today I got the news from Mike McDaniel's press conference, and then Cameron Wolf tweeted it out very, very quickly. Tonight I got the news that Armstead might play this week. When they asked McDaniel about his two tackles, first thing he said was, Armstead continues to impress me. He said the only way he's not out there playing is if he's going to hurt himself or hurt his teammates by playing. Meaning he's too physically hurt and he's too physically incapable of playing at a high level that he's going to get the quarterback hurt by playing. He's going to get a running back hurt by playing. He's going to make the team weaker by playing. Or he's going to hurt himself to the point that he won't be able to play the rest of the season, which will hurt the team going forward. Unless he's in a situation where they're telling him, you are going to hurt yourself or you are going to hurt your team, unless he's in that situation, he will be playing, which is crazy. And then he said Austin Jackson probably won't play. So we may have Armstead out there, but I want you to take that with a grain of salt because you want Armstead out there against San Francisco. You need him. And you figure that the only way he's out there is if even with his injury, he's still better than what the backup is. At the same time, you definitely don't want the type of situation we saw with Tua after the Buffalo game, where that's the same type of thing McDaniel said about Tua, right? He said, well, he's doing everything he can to get out there. He got out there, and then he was out for 3 weeks. You don't want Armstead out for 3 weeks. Somebody asked in the chat, what's the toughest and most important game of the road trip? Well, I'll tell you right now, it's not San Francisco. It's Buffalo. It's Buffalo. That's a conference and division rival. It's on the road. That's the toughest and most important game. San Francisco is the second toughest game, I say, on that slate. But it's not the most important because it's not a conference game and it's not a division game. The Chargers are a conference game, and they're right in the thick of things, too. We got to take care of business against the Chargers in prime time. We got to knock this Tua versus Herbert thing off. And I guarantee you, those two young men are anxious to face each other and outdo each other, and that's going to be fun. And my money's on Tua. So I think we beat the Chargers. That's just me. We'll see how we come out of San Francisco, how we look against San Francisco, how beat up we are. We're staying in California. It's a business trip. I think we can take care of the Chargers, but San Francisco's going to be tough. I don't even know what to think of San Francisco. I would tell you this. If San Francisco was coming to Miami, I would predict Miami wins. Because Miami's going to San Francisco, unfortunately, fans, I'm leaning a little like it's going to be tough for us. It's a tough game. But it doesn't mean we can't win. And we don't really know who San Francisco is because, again, they haven't played anybody. But apparently neither have we. Well, let's see what we do. We're both good teams, in my opinion. It's going to be a tough game. And I don't like that Shanahan knows so much about McDaniel. Then again, McDaniel knows a hell of a lot about Shanahan, and he knows that whole team top to bottom in the roster. Shanahan doesn't know our whole roster. So we'll see who comes out on top in that little duel, of two guys who know each other. But Buffalo is the toughest game. Yeah, and Adam says it in the chat. Yeah, it's not only the toughest because it's on the road and it's division rival, and they're a damn good team, but it's the third road game in a row, and now we're coming from California. Now, the games are at 4, so it's just like us playing at 1. So I don't think the time changed. Bart Scott was saying, it's 1 o'clock. It feels like it's 3 hours earlier. It feels like it's 10. It's like, no, well, they're playing at 4, Bart. They're playing at 4, sir. So it's just like 1, okay? So relax. But the time change, I don't think it's going to be as bad going that way, but coming back and then having to go to cold-ass Buffalo right after we just came from California for a week, for 2 weeks, ooh, I don't know about that. They set us up for a tough one, guys. But then look, then you come home, you got Green Bay. I don't care about the Green Bay of old. I don't care about Aaron Rodgers playing with the dude is like hobbled, and I give him props. He's like crippled coming in to play the game. But I'm not worried about the Packers this year at home on Christmas. The Jets could talk all the nonsense they want about how great Sauce is and how wonderful Mike White is the next whatever he is. I'm not worried about them. And look, I'm not saying I don't respect the Jets defense. I'm not saying I don't respect the Jets at all. I'm just saying I'm not worried about them right now. I'm not worried about Mike White coming into Miami and sweeping the season series. I'm just not. I'm just not. Now, they could change it. If Mike White goes lights out the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and comes in, then I'll be worried. And if we start slumping, which is possible, then I'll revisit that prediction. I'm not that worried right now. And I'll tell you who I'm definitely not worried about. And again, I'll revisit it if it changes. I know it's on the road. I ain't worried about New England. Mac Jones, they keep saying he's still going to be great. I ain't that worried about Mac Jones. So this is the stretch. This is the season-defining stretch. And CLR says he hates the Jets. Sir, we agree. This is the season-defining stretch right here. It starts this week. Let's see what we do, man. Let's see what we do. Let's bring in the guys, man. Let's bring in the guys. Shake, Greg, what up?
Yo.
What's going on?
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, cool. I'm surprised, Greg, you didn't do your skull chant for them beating New England.
I don't hate the Patriots as much as I do the Bills, but
yeah. So the Bills, like when you talk anything Bills, G will get nuts.
They're the Patriots. They're average.
Yeah,
Patriots
Patriots now have like taken the spot that the Bills used to have for me, like 10 years ago, where like the Bills weren't that good, so like who really cares? But now the Patriots, who really cares? Like,
hey, while we're speaking of the Patriots, I heard something on Instagram from this NFL guy I follow. There's a rumor going around that Tom Brady in the offseason might return to New England.
What?
I know. That's what I was saying. I almost wanted to put something on my Instagram saying, yes, come back, old man, so we can retire you once again.
Ooh, I like that.
Of course.
I like that.
But I didn't want to, because I didn't want to upset any people on my friends. So,
dude. Well, so wait, Greg. So now you got more Buffalo fans around you, or more Pats fans around you?
More Pats fans. I'm in the New England area.
Okay. But you just hate the Bills because
I hate the Bills because I hate Josh Allen because he's a bum.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. All right.
He's a cocky son of a gun.
He really is. You know who?
Whenever the Bills win, they're all in your face, right? Even their fans are on your face. But when they lose, they like to cry and sit in the locker room like little girls.
Honestly, like their fan base, I never realized until they got like decent again. They're really something. Like they're loud and they cry and they talk shit. Like the Pats and Jets fans don't even talk as much, I've noticed. Like not on the internet. Like the Bills fans are just ridiculous. So I get it. I definitely get it. And you know who gets under Josh Allen's skin, by the way? Christian Wilkins. Every game, he's jawing at him. Like, he really, like, gets under his skin, bro. He knows how to mess with him. I like that. But, all right, so Greg and Shake, I mean, what are you guys feeling, man? How you guys feeling about the game that we just saw, the Armstead situation, you know, McDaniel's comments? How you feeling about the game coming up, the road stretch? You know, we'll go – Greg, you go first since you already started talking, and then I'll give Shake the floor.
So, fortunately, this past day on my vacation week from work, I work that day, so I didn't get to watch it, unfortunately. But I went to work. I was on my way to driving to work. I'm like, I have a feeling we might lose today. But then once I went to work, it's like, come on, we're not gonna lose. It's the freaking Texans, bro.
Yes.
I was watching. I had the ESPN app on my phone, so I was watching that. Once we were up at 30-0.5, I just completely closed the app. I'm like, we got this. I put the Spain versus Germany game on, and then all of a sudden I go back, and I'm wondering, how do we allow 15 points to this team?
Yes.
And then I found out Armstead got her on Twitter. I'm like, damn, Armstead's here. Hopefully he's back. Salute to him.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous about this 49ers game. I mean, this is a real good team. Again, the 49ers, they beat whoever was on their schedule. Everyone out there saying, who have the Dolphins beat? Cry me a river. Love your Bills. We get it, ESPN. Play the same damn teams as the Bills. But it's going to be a test for us. I think it's going to be a real test, road atmosphere. If Armstead's not playing, worries me a little bit, but like, up with a game plan. Him and Tua, they're going to ball out quick. This is going to be a test. It's going to be close. I'm excited for it. I actually get to watch the game.
Yes, you're gonna watch this game. And by the way, you got music playing in the background, and it's like compressing your mic, and there's like a lot going on over there. I just wanna point that out to you. You got a lot going on. But you're gonna be able to watch this game. That's good. And Mountie Von Joe, what's up, man?
Go 8:00. I'm happy. Get the
Yes.
thing for the Dolphins the second time this year.
Love it. Love it. So you're gonna be able to watch it. I love it. All right. Shake Hef. Shake Money. The man. So it's Shake. You're the one with the music. Who's got the music?
Really? You can hear the music in the background?
Yeah, because it's not Greg because he muted. I'm blaming him. It's not even him. It's
Man.
you of all people. I know I don't have music in here. This guy's sitting here vibing. This guy's in his robe, straight smoking, vibing, just taking in what Greg's saying. Just like, yeah, man, listening to the music. Like, damn, Shake.
My bad. Can you hear music now?
No.
I closed the door to my
No,
okay,
now you.
perfect. Sorry about that.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. Don't even worry about it.
No, I just wanted to make a few points. Number one, I think another tough tough road game is going to be that New England game because Bill Belichick does not want to lose to a Tua for a fourth time.
True.
And how sweet would it be if, because remember, we took him out the 2 seed. How sweet would it be if he could return the favor to us?
Bro, you're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. Just to mess with us. He's going to try. They're going to give it their best. I don't know if I believe in them Pats, man, but they got a decent D. Judon is like their whole pass rush. But, Greg, what do you think about New England? You're up there.
Listen, New England's just average. Their fan base is all quiet. Mac Jones, I mean, I'm not going to completely garbage him. I think right now he's an average quarterback, but he can get there to being great. I mean, he's just got terrible weapons. I mean, Nelson Aguilar is like his only weapon. Their offense doesn't scare me. Damian Harris and Stevenson, they've been great running backs for them because I see the highlights. Judon, yes, great. I think the Patriots are right now an average team, but I think they could be a threat for us. I agree.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay,
I wouldn't overlook them. I won, but
I wouldn't overlook anybody, but yeah, I got you. Don't overlook the Pats. You can never overlook a division rival.
And the last thing is, if we do, after our West Coast road trip, I'm going to tell my team, listen, it's going to be a 3-week sacrifice, but after the Super Bowl, we're going to have 4 months of time with our family. So I would say after the Los Angeles game, instead of going to Miami, go to Buffalo for 2 reasons. Number one, to get the rhythm going, and number 2, get acclimated early to that cold weather. Just like how New England came to Miami early to get acclimated to the heat, we should do the same thing to get acclimated to the cold.
Yeah, so you're just saying go on like a baseball, hockey type road trip. Just don't come home for 3 weeks, man, and just I don't disagree. I mean, it's probably the smartest thing to do. I wonder if they do that. You know, they always say too, like I forget who I heard talking about it, like some athlete saying, you know, the camaraderie and the way that teams gel, like on baseball and hockey teams, is so deep because they spend like these long swaths of road trips together. Like they traveling around the country in adversity for long periods of time, whereas football, it's like you travel 8 times a year. Like it's if you really break it down, it's not that crazy. Maybe it would benefit the team. Not that they're not already playing that way, but I think the way their vibe is and the way they gel already, that might be good for them to gel even more on the road and like band together. Shake, I agree.
And not to mention they're gonna be for home for the holidays, so you know what I mean. So
Right.
let's sacrifice those 3 weeks, you know what I mean, and that way keep the momentum going.
I like it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I like it. Shake, what are you thinking about this San Fran matchup, man? What's your thoughts in general on it?
I think whoever's defense plays better is gonna win the game. I think it's gonna be a defensive game. But
Makes sense.
just like there are 2 advantages. Number one, Miami has the advantage because I don't think our defensive backs will match up well with Tyreek Hill. Now the front four, if Tua with his quick release, if he gets it to Waddle and Hill, I don't like. I think our receivers versus their secondary, I like that matchup. But their running backs, and Debo Samuels is also used as a running back. Being matched up against our linebackers, I don't like that either.
I was
Because
scared.
we don't
I'm
have
scared
any
of him.
pass. Yeah, we don't have good pass covering linebackers. So that's the one weakness I could see, at least in our perspective. The secondary, I'm not too worried about it, but it is the linebackers that can't cover worth a damn.
No, you make a lot of good points, and it's just true. Our linebackers struggle seriously in coverage. Even like a Phillips, who's grading out really actually damn well against the run and as a pass rusher, still just from my eye test, his struggles, dropping back a little bit. So I've been worried about Debo. I just think they have an interesting offense the way we do, and it's no surprise. Look what the coaching tree that McDaniel comes from. It's not easy to defend against. It's not going to be easy to
Don't
defend
forget
against.
McCaffrey.
Yeah, McCaffrey, he's nursing, like, I think, a knee, but I think he'll be good to go, and he's still a threat even if he's nursing it. You look at Armstead, he's nursing a pec, and if he's playing, we're not going to be like, oh, he's playing with a nursing pec. Like, so it's a tough game, and I think it'll show us a lot. What do you guys think about, if I were to say this, and I don't necessarily think it exactly, but I kind of been flipping around in my head because somebody else mentioned it in the the media sphere the last couple days. What do you guys is that a salty Tua, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What? So the salty Tua. Shake, before we go into this thing, can you just give them the ingredients one more time, please?
Yes, it's 2 ounces of salted caramel whiskey, 2 ounces of hazelnut liqueur, a 1/4 ounce of honey whiskey, and 2 pineapple garnishes or a splash of pineapple juice.
I love it.
Either or.
The salty Tua. You guys named it. Fury Fam. That's a Fury Fam original. You guys named it. You go out and get those ingredients. You toast with us. We make the playoffs. Hey, this is the promise. You guys make the playoffs, and I'm going out and getting every one of those ingredients. I'm going to the store, and I'm coming over here, and me and Shake are doing that toast together. And I hope and whoever else can tell me on the chat, oh, I have mine as well. I'll bring you up just for a special toast if we make the playoffs. All right?
I'll have my 21st birthday.
Yes. How long are we away from that, sir?
Well, it's December now. I was born in July, so that's what, 6 months, 7 months.
So you're gonna be 21 in July?
Yeah.
All right. So going into next off season, we're doing that too. You're gonna have your first celebratory drink, sir. It's gonna be dope. I'm excited about this community. I love this community. This is Fury Fam. And by the way, if you're not a part of Fury Fam yet because you haven't subscribed, that's on you. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 1,200 subscribers by the end of tonight, please. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video. Get a friend to come on and hit subscribe. If your girlfriend's in the room and she doesn't even like football, but she subscribes to others, tell her to go on her account and subscribe. Subscribe. Anyway, here's a question I was going to ask you guys.
I have a question. Well, by the way, just one thing.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember in the beginning of the show, if we make it to the playoffs, I already got this bad boy waiting.
That's right. You did say that. You did say that.
Maybe our first playoff win, we could do that. But this bad boy is coming out for our playoff berth.
All right, so playoff berth, I'm getting champagne, and I'm going up with this cat. So I'll just get something from the store. And then if we win, I will do the salty
I'll
Tua.
get apple cider, and I'll shake it up in the...
Yes, I like it. Like one of the fancy apple cider bottles. Yeah, I like it. So look, here's the question.
I was sitting on this from last year, so...
I like it. So it's got to be cracked open at some point, man. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So people have said that our defense, despite the fact that we're playing some not so great teams, even aside from that, our defense is starting to maybe come into form a little bit. That our young corners are starting to play a little better. Darth Cater, that Chubb is getting some pressure that we didn't have before. That these Jalen Phillips, I think, has gotten a little stronger since the beginning of the year in more versatile aspects of his game. That some of these safeties that have been filling in for Jones have been not so bad. What say you guys? Do you think our defense is making strides, or is it just a result of the competition we're playing, who sucks? Either one of you can go first.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, I think that's starting to gel now. With the addition of Chubb, I mean, getting there, I mean, you got to pick who you want to block. I think this defense could be a threat. Cornerbacks, I mean, I didn't see the game. I think the secondaries, even without Byron, hopefully Byron come back, but we'll see about him. But I think even without Byron, our secondary is starting to grow, starting to learn, get the form of things. I believe I saw something like Chubb, Phillips, and a couple other guys each had a sack. I believe Wilkins might have one of the guys. It was a stat I saw on NBC or whatever. But yeah, all those guys had a sack. So I think, yeah, our defense started to gel, and that's if you play the Dolphins come playoff time or even down the stretch, you do not want to face this defense if we're going forward.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, I thought Chubb, and I said this when we played them. Fields is a mobile quarterback; you weren't going to see it, but the next two games since then, you've seen Chubb's impact. I think it's nothing to sneeze at.
Also, with Chubb, he was just coming back from London to Denver, back to Miami, so that.
Good point. Shake, what do you think about the defense?
One of the unsung heroes is Ingram. Man. Ingram has been getting home a lot more than normal.
Oh yeah, Ingram. I forgot about him.
You know what? And Ingram was getting home a little early in the year too. It's like we had Ingram, and he's like a big name, and you know about him. But then you get Trey Flowers, and then you forget about it. But he's been getting home. Shake, great point. He's been getting home like probably first every time. Chubb cleans it up.
Yeah.
Good point.
And I tell you what. I know a lot of players don't circle, but you know what I'm saying. I'm sure he's gonna play especially hard when he gets to LA and plays the Chargers, his former team.
Hell yeah, he is. I can't wait for that Justin Herbert Tua showdown because, like, to be honest, initially I
baby.
Yeah,
time.
I liked Herbert, man. He was a good player. He's got all the physical attributes, but this year, like, I'm looking like Tua has got the goods, and Herbert's got the goods, but I don't know if he's got him like Tua does. Tua already beat him once, right? So
yep, 1-0 right here.
So let's see what happens with that game. But how you guys think we're worried about Samuel a little bit. How do you think our O, and I know Shaky kind of touched on it, our O, their D, I mean, Armstead makes a big difference, doesn't he, right? Because you're going to have Bosa coming off the edge. Mm-hmm. You got to think he gets home at least once or twice, even with Armstead, if Armstead's significantly hobbled. Do we know which pec it is? And, the reason I bring that up is because there was a clip against the Lions where Armstead's, like, literally holding a guy with one hand. It's like, if it's the left pec and he's on the left side, he ain't going to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious. I don't think they told us, but that's an interesting thing to look at, too. You know what I mean? Like, if it's his inside, arm, I think it allows him a little more leverage to kind of hide it. If it's his outside arm, it's going to be tougher. But we don't know. I mean, and what do we know anyway about maneuvers and things? But that's just seems like common sense. So we'll have to watch it play out. I don't even know if he's going to play. But by McDaniel, the way McDaniel sounded, it sounds like he's going to play. That's how I kind of took it. How'd you guys take it? Did you see the McDaniel presser?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, McDaniel is just like with Brian Flores. The only difference between Brian Flores and Mike McDaniels, he's a little more entertaining with his press conferences, but he gives you a little. The only thing is he says more without saying less, and Brian Flores just said less.
Yeah, Brian Flores just sat up there so angry, just like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, like he was like a Belichick. That's what he was like.
Yeah, but it's like, and I don't blame them because let's face it. I'll never forget. I used to always watch the Bill Belichick press conferences, right? Mm-hmm. Before the Dolphin game. And this is when they got Antonio Brown. So he says, hey, look, we addressed everything we wanted to about Antonio Brown, and I'm not going to answer any questions about Antonio Brown. All right, now, questions? And the first question was about Antonio Brown. Like, damn, didn't you just listen to the damn man? Come on, man.
Yeah, true. I understand. There's a lot of if you look up YouTube stuff, I always do when you go down the rabbit hole. Well, my first favorite thing is, like, epic coach meltdowns at pressers because it always goes to like playoffs. And then Denny Green like, you want to crown him and crown their ass. And then the next, dude, the best one I've seen. You guys got to look it up. It like goes from like famous ones like that, like you want to crown him and crown their ass. And then it goes to some like women's basketball coach from Michigan who like just like so you see like. Go like playoffs, and then Mora, and then Denny Green, and all of a sudden you see some guy like flies into the podium like, ah, and he just starts yelling and screaming about, we can't rebound, we can't. I'm gonna play it on here like next week so you guys could all see it.
Okay.
But that's the first thing I watch, and then the second thing is dumb media questions, and you just watch like these idiotic media questions from all sports, and the hockey players, football players, but they're all so pissed off. They're just like, what did I just say? What? Like, so I get it, Shake. I get it. Like, sometimes you're like, why do I even go out here to answer stupid common sense questions? And did you guys ever see this? I'll play this one day, in the offseason or something. Bill Belichick, he was asked about, like, long snapping or something like that. And he goes on, like, the most thoughtful, most, like, in-depth academic analysis of the history of long snapping. And I thought it was dope because it's like, it shows that even Belichick, if you ask him a legitimate question that's worthwhile, he'll probably answer it. It's just that they always ask him stupid stuff. Like, he asked him, like, what goes into long snapping? He's like, well, if you go back to 1957, they used to have this kind of kicker and this kind of long snapper. So then they started to adapt, and it's like really good stuff. But it's like, because he actually asked a good question. If you ask stupid questions, you get stupid answers. You ask good questions, you get good answers. So I understand this mentality. McDaniel jokes with them, but he almost kind of clowns them from the side. He'll be like, can we actually talk about the game this week? Or like, he's kind of just funnier, so they don't realize he's clowning them, but he's clowning them too. Good point, Jake.
The Vikings game.
It's like, I remember one time Joe Shad, because he asked the dumbest questions of all time. He asked him, so when you're in third long, what goes into your thinking? He's like, I'm not going to answer that. I'm like, why don't you just give him the freaking playbook?
Yeah, yes.
The playbook.
Yes.
And one thing he says, one of the reasons I'm secretive, and because he knows Bill Belichick does it, is because other teams are watching this, and I'm not trying to give too much away because teams will use this press conference as an advantage.
Damn right they will. We've seen them do it before with practicing and whatnot. Greg, what were you saying about the Vikings?
That's what the reporters did. They kept talking about Tua. They didn't talk about the Vikings game.
Yes. He's like, can we talk about the Vikings? And then Revo points out another classic that I missed. Hello, you play to win the game. You play to win the game. He almost forgot about that one. So we have that. Now, Shake, I think it's about time, man. I hope you're ready because we got.
All right. I am.
The good. The bad. The ugly.
Sorry, I cut you off a little, Shake, but I knew you were ready. So what's up?
I'm ready. Yeah, the good. Money Sanders made all his field goals.
Yeah,
that is good.
Back!
Yes,
that is good.
Yes.
That is good. What is bad is that we gave up more sacks in this one game than we did in 4 games combined.
Yes, that is really bad.
And here's the ugly. Whoever made the decision to put Austin Jackson back in at right tackle, sleep you. Because at the end of the day, here's the thing. You got Brandon Shell, who didn't allow a sack in 4 games, playing lights out, and you replace him with Austin Jackson because he was a high draft pick. That sends a bad message. To me, that says, I don't care how good you play, how well you are, if a high draft pick comes back, guess what? You lost your job. You didn't earn your. I think, in my opinion, Brandon Shell earned his right tackle position, and I think he should have stayed there. That's just me. I'm sorry to go on a tangent.
No, I like the tangent. That makes a lot of sense, and I agree with you. I don't know why you would pull Shell. And you know what's funny? Shake? Had they just stuck with Shell, who, in my opinion, earned the job at right tackle, then guess what? When Tehran goes out, you could have put Austin Jackson at left tackle where he's more natural, and maybe we don't look so bad because Shell isn't really ready for that side of the field. Had you just had Jackson as the reserve, he could have been the reserve and maybe reserved better. Like, agree, dude. That's a great ugly, man, because that's, again, this coaching staff is learning on the fly. Like, I love a lot of things about him, But I'm going to keep it objective. That's why you guys are even on this Fury Fam. That's why we even have this channel. He's got to work on his clock management sometimes and his play calling, like in certain situations. And like the Gesicki comments earlier in the year where they threw him under the bus, like we understand he can't block, but to put it out there in the media, not smart. And now this, like the messages he's sending to some of the guys, especially the guys who keep their mouths shut and worked, could be a little bit better. And look, it's nitpicking. He's done a great job, but like it's still things that he could maybe improve upon. You know what I mean? Could still improve upon. So, Shake, anything to shake it up? Anything from outside the Fins or anything this week? Or what do we got?
Fins.
You're
How
good.
about the U.S. men's national team, bro?
That you know what? And how about Pulisic taking a kick to the nuts, basically, to score? How about that?
I was hyped during that Iran game. I was jumping up and down when Pulisic made that goal, and then I was biting my fingernails the rest of the game. I thought that something was going to go wrong, but hey, America's back. We didn't qualify last World Cup. We're back. We qualified this time. We're back in the knockout stage.
Yes.
Future looks bright for the soccer. I think Netherlands tough opponent. I think we can beat them. But anyway, it can go either way. I'm ready for 2026 when the World Cup comes to America. I will be going.
Yeah, we got a game here in Jersey.
I will be going to the Gillette one if anyone's going. I don't care who plays. I'm going. I'm going to rep the U.S.
Hell yeah.
Going. If anyone's from Foxborough, Massachusetts, wherever, is going to go, maybe you'll see me there.
You call Greg. And by the way, did you see the chant they were doing, Greg? They were like, it's called soccer. Against the Brits, it's called soccer. That was awesome. And when you beat Iran, it's even better because, you know, they got a lot of problems. We don't get along with them.
We
all right?
should beat England. The England fans were melting down because they drew with us.
Of course
they thought they were going to score 5, 4, 6 goals against us, and they didn't score anything.
They're like that. They were like that snowflake gif where it's like, whatever that girl, you know, with the that's what they were like.
Yeah,
that's great.
Had we won, I would have celebrated with some fish and chips.
Yeah.
Bro, yeah, fish and chips. That would be a way to do it.
I mean, the World Cup's
every day.
I've been up at 5 a.m. watching these games.
You're one of those sick soccer dudes who does that. See, I can't do that.
I'm not even into soccer. I'm just in the World Cup. I'm starting to get a little bit into it.
Because of World Cup. No, I understand that. I understand that because I do that with like the Olympics, like sports I never like really watch. All of a sudden I'm like glued to it. I'm like, what about women's like, you know, beach volleyball? But I actually do like it when I'm watching it. So
the Winter World Cup, the Winter Olympics, I'm watching skiing, figure skating, sports I never watch. And it's
winter, we don't dominate it. Summer, one day summer's in LA sometime soon. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go, bro.
28.
Yeah, that looks fun. Like just like going to every different event and stuff all around the city. Probably dope. So anyway, go USA. Yeah. Good way to shake it up, Greg. I appreciate that, man. That's a good way to do it, bro.
Oh yeah.
Morning on Fox.
Yeah, so Saturday we're playing the Netherlands, aren't we?
Yep, Netherlands.
And what if we lose, we're knocked out, or is?
Yep, if we lose, we're going home. We win. We keep fighting. More likely, we're facing Argentina because they're facing Australia.
Got you.
Much that I want Australia to win because my uncle lives in Australia. Australia is probably going to get blown, so we're probably going to see Argentina and Messi in the next round if we win.
Oh my God! Yo, let me ask you this: why is your uncle from? Are you guys like from Australia? Did he just move out there for business or what?
No, I'm not from. My uncle was born in America, but I think he married my aunt, and they moved out to Australia, and they just live there now.
That's so interesting. They like it. I mean, I hear good shit about it.
I hardly ever see him. I hardly ever talk to him. I'm sure he loves it.
See, I'm like a weird guy, likes to go like road trips, and I'm always trying to go into the United States, like in the off the beaten trail, like weird like Appalachian trails and whatnot. So one thing I'm like obsessed with is I learned that like in Australia, almost the entire population lives on the coast, and the whole interior is like barren and like it's really dangerous. You have no cell service. There's just kangaroos and like random gas stations and just nothing out there. And one place that would be crazy to go would be like the Outback in Australia. That's just a tidbit about me. I don't know if you guys care, but hey, just throwing it out there because we're shaking it up. You know what I'm saying? That's
there's a channel. His name's Wooback, Cause I Can.
Mm-hmm. And yo, you've been telling me about him, Shake.
Yeah, he's in Sydney, and I tell you what, man, it's just like the United States, man. They have a huge Polynesian cup,
Polynesian,
and they also Polynesian community, and they also have a Samoan and South African, and it's a very diverse. It reminds me a lot of New York, but really cool. he does different things, and he goes different places, and you'll be amazed.
Got to get him on the show, man. I know you've been trying.
Yeah.
I know you've been trying because that's just a cool perspective to have on here. We got some English, from people from the UK that listen to this show and subscribe to this channel because they reach out to me, which is pretty cool too. There's the Finns have a big UK following, and some of them are fans of this channel. So hey, UK members of the Fury fam, welcome, and we do love you. No hard feelings about that World Cup draw. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Bro, if I was with a Bills fan, Patriots fan, Jets fan, I wouldn't care. Like if I'm watching a U.S. soccer game and we somehow beat like Brazil, let's say, I would hug them. I would give them a little smooch. I'd be celebrating them.
You give smooches. This guy gives smooches. That's how much he likes soccer, man.
Yeah,
World Cup soccer. Smooches are on deck. This guy's wild. Greg is wild tonight. But I like it because I can always get a feel for where Greg is at when I first send out the link to you guys because like you guys are in the studio, right? So, like, Greg will either be, like, ringing somebody up, like, at work and, like, barely paying attention. I'm like, Greg's at work. Or Greg will be, like, in the background, like this. Like, when I'm talking, and I can tell if my points are good because Greg is just, like, in the screen, like, but he's silent. I can't hear him. So I know, like, the mood. So tonight I knew he was going to be, like, ready. Tonight was, like, a good mix of, like, hype but, like, thoughtful. Because I would say stuff, he's like... So I knew when he came on, he was going to, like, be where he's at now. Which is great. I can read the room. I know how to read the room. It's great stuff. We're going to bring John on. John, what up, man? It's been a while. It's been 2 weeks, man.
Hey, fellas. Yeah, it's been a couple
on?
weeks, man. We've seen a lot of snow in Buffalo.
Yes.
That was interesting. I was hoping the team wouldn't catch the flight, but, sure as hell they made it. But gosh darn it.
Unfortunately, yes. John, I like how you change your background every week. That's what I like. Like,
yeah,
you can be outside. We're getting a glimpse of your life. Like, you're everywhere.
Check this out. I got 3 kids, and they don't have any volume controls. So I basically got to find the nook and the cranny of the house that they're not at. And,
I like it.
So here we are. I loved hearing that stuff about Australia. I didn't know that the interior was so barren. And to be honest, Larry, we love you. We love the show. We love Greg. We love Shake. I even listened to your podcast, man, and I thought it was pretty sweet. I jazzed out with you, and I just gave it a go, man. So yeah,
nice.
I enjoyed that.
Bro, I'm glad you did, dude. Like, cause you're the kind of guy just talking to you about football that you'd probably appreciate that, like, middle of the road, just every angle thing. So I'm glad you checked it out, bro.
You're just talking life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the daily things that we all hear about and our opinions. And yeah, I just found myself agreeing with you a lot, frankly.
Awesome,
so
bro.
I enjoyed it.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, but with all that said, hey, look, we had a game. Houston. To me, we had a bye, so I was excited to see the game. But frankly, when we were up 30-0, it was in the bag. I wasn't worried. Tua looked good as heck during that run. So I basically walked away from the game at that point. Did some yard work, kept checking in on the screen. Never a concern. Texans were never a concern for me.
Right.
But I got to get real. I got to get real with you guys right now. Here is my concern, all right? And I want to think a little bit to the future. Right now, we're sitting on the second in the conference. We got KC with the 1-game lead over us.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of their schedule is pretty soft. I mean, granted, it's a division game for them. They got Denver coming up twice, who doesn't look too strong. They might have melded in. I think they got the Raiders. To me, it looks like KC is going to easily get the number 1 conference the first week bye. Yeah. So that leaves us, I think looking at between us and Buffalo for that number 2 seed, and frankly for the division. And also I'm a bit concerned about that. I don't know if you guys had time to review the schedule. I think Buffalo and us, we have a somewhat similar schedule. And I'm not sure who's going to hold the tiebreaker. It might come down to the division, but in order for me thinking, I want to see a deep playoff run. A Super Bowl would be magical. By no means am I expecting that, but I'm at the point right now to where I've seen enough to where I think my expectations are a deep playoff run or disappointment, of course. And I don't know that we're going to be able to make. That ain't my cat. Yeah, I know. I got a dog.
I don't have a cat.
I have a cappuccino, Allen.
Oh, it's Shake money over there.
Shake, what are you doing? Shake, you got music, you got cats, you got what do you got? You're pulling up your chair. This guy's going. He's telling us about the playoff run, and you got echoing through the. It's like acoustics too.
See what happens when I get new headphones with speakers.
Jesus,
yeah.
your mic is picking up your whole house, sir.
Yeah, I just had. Well, I thought the cat
All right,
was
John,
agreeing
go
with me, so she was
It
like,
was!
"Meow, meow, hell yeah, okay." Hey,
All right, John, keep going because I like where you're going. I think there's
Yeah.
a lot. I want you to keep going because I want to talk about
so
it.
so really, what I'm looking at here is, I think the Dolphins have potential, but these next 6 games, I believe, are critical to how far we could go into the playoffs. And if we're not going to take the division, it could be a 1 and out. It could very easily be a 1 and done, because that first game will be no walk in the park. It would be against a strong team on the road in cold weather. So, I think it's critical that we at least get a home game out of this gig.
I agree
And that
with
means a divisional win. But I'm gonna run through the schedule of Buffalo here real quick. Their last 6 games, okay? They've got the Patriots, the Jets,
L
the Bears,
L
the Bengals,
L
and the Patriots again.
L.
Close to ours, John. You're right. I think ours may be
Yeah.
a little tougher, but maybe not.
Well, I mean, how many?
Are they
how
at
many of these
Cincy?
last games? How many? We might have a slightly tougher because we're on the road a lot.
Yeah.
But how many of these last 6 games do you guys think Buffalo's going to win? I mean, they have the same record as us right now,
Dude, you got a
and
good point.
so
They're
I'm
already in a
thinking,
division hole.
Yeah, I think they lose to the Patriots.
Well, they very may well. But I think the ultimate point I wanted to get at here is there's 6 games left for the Dolphins, and that's what we control. How many of those games do we really think that we're going to win? I'm thinking 4. Me too. I'm thinking we win 4 of the next 6. Where are you at, Shake? Where are you at on that? 4? Okay. If we win 4, there's a good chance that we don't win this division. Because I think Buffalo could win the next. I think they could win 5 of 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. So you think they'll they'll sweep the Pats, and then maybe take an L, or beat Cincinnati, take 1 L against the Pats. They play the Jets.
They might take an L either to us, to the Pats, or to the Bengals.
Yeah, but they
maybe they take 2.
else. I get it.
They're a good team, and granted, their back has been against the wall. Good teams find a way to win these games. And what is happening? Buffalo is winning these games they should probably have lost. So I'm having a hard time counting them out. And so that's really where my concern is. And when it might come down to we're the same record and it comes down to divisional tiebreaker or some craziness like that. So, yeah, I'm concerned, I'm concerned about how far we could go in the playoffs, and I think a lot depends on these next 6 games. And I'm looking at a tough road ahead for us. And at the same time, if we come out and if we do what we have been doing, I mean, Tua really hasn't dropped the game he's finished. If he continues that, and this defense continues to progress and put pressure on these quarterbacks like we've been seeing, well, maybe we do win 5. Maybe we do win, I mean, dare I say all of it, probably at least 5, maybe 5, right? And in that case, we've got a legitimate team here. So it's a twofold thing to me. These last 6 games mean so much to the playoffs, but it also means so much to the quality of the team that we have here. So I'm anxious about this. I'm expecting to make the playoffs, but boy, a wild card is a tough one for me.
I hear you on that, and I think here's where I'm at. I'll just say it since we're kind of just getting real. I mean, I predict I'm kind of anticipating and preparing myself to lose this Sunday.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. If we win this Sunday, I think it puts us ahead of the 8 ball. In other words, now my prediction might go up to 5 of 6 because now I only think we're going to lose against Buffalo. Like, that's just where my head's at. So my 2 losses right now, I'll just be honest with you, when I say 4, it could obviously like randomly lose to the Chargers after being a high. I have us losing against San Fran and Buffalo. That's where I have us losing. If we beat San Fran, we're ahead of the 8 ball in my opinion. Then I'll get my hopes up again, because then if we could take care of business with LA, all of a sudden that Buffalo game is not expendable, but all of a sudden it's like, oh, like we are really ahead of the 8 ball. Like so I agree with you, John. I think a lot is going to come down to like, if we lose Sunday, I'm kind of where I thought we would be. I'm trying. I know I'm going to be miserable, but I'm going to try to temper myself because I'm like, I expect it, and we can maybe lose it. But if we win, I'm going to get really excited because I think it puts us ahead of the 8 ball. I don't. It's a tough game, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we win this game, you're right, it does put us ahead of the 8 ball, and this team is for real.
Yes, because it
And
just says a lot.
they have a lot. It's in their destiny at that point. They control. I mean, right now we really control. But you in San
Yes.
Francisco, we're in a driver's seat here, and that's bagging a big one.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
I 100% agree with all that. I mean, I agree with all that. And look, we can beat Baltimore on the road. We can beat any of these teams on the road, but it's not going to be easy. And you think Baltimore's not going to want revenge? And playoff football in those cities are a lot different than regular season football in those cities. So I agree with you. Any road game for us against this current slate would be difficult.
We'll be underdogs instantly because
Yeah.
it's the playoffs. It's on the road. We're automatically 3-point underdogs.
Yeah.
And, I'm not a gambling man, all right?
Mhm.
But Vegas seems to be right a lot. It's incredible. Sometimes I'll look at these spreads and I'm like, how do I? And right now they got, actually they have us down against San Fran. What we're 4-point underdogs. So
Yeah, they usually know things. I mean, I think a lot of that has to do with the time. I mean, anytime a West Coast team comes east or an East Coast team goes west, they're at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
They usually lose. I mean, that's just the reality of it. It's just a weird. It's too much of a time zone change. It's just a lot different. So we'll see what happens. But I agree with all of that. What do you think of the Jets, John? Just while we're speaking, like, are they a threat to take our spot? Are they paper tigers?
Good games.
well, I had my coworker today. What's their quarterback's name? Pat White? Is that it? No.
Mike White.
Mike White. Okay,
Yeah.
Pat White. He's an old dog. Okay,
Yeah.
Mike White. And frankly, I didn't even see the game. And he's like, "Oh boy, those Jets look good." And I said, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Because if you think they look good with that quarterback, I got another quarterback to sell you, and his name is, I think, Mike Flynn. He used to play for the Green Bay Packers
Matt
and the
Flynn,
Seahawks.
Yes.
Man, they slapped a huge. We almost did.
Remember
The
that?
Dolphins almost.
Yeah. Got paid
So-
bank.
Yeah, he got paid. But anyway, so that's how I feel about the Jets. We got one game here. I don't know what to think of it.
Yeah, agreed.
But he seems to be better than Zach Wilson already, and he seems to have the respect of the team. So that's kind of scary.
Well, I'll say this too, John. Last year he came in, he threw for like 4 touchdowns, or 6 or something. Lit it all up, but then he sucked like the next couple games. That's why they stuck with Zach. So I'm not convinced yet either. Like, he's had flashes before, and he's not been he was the third string going into the season. Flacco was the backup. So I'm not taking him for granted because I think their defense is top 5. I really do, but I don't know about White either yet. But we'll see. I'm not counting him out. I'm just not counting him in quite yet. Greg, yeah.
I think he'll ball out for 3 games, and we'll see him bomb out. But since we're talking about the Chiefs here, I've managed to pull up their schedule. Here's the Chiefs' last 6.
Easy, huh?
They're playing at Cincy this weekend, which I'm picking
That's a
the
tough
Bengals
game.
because Bengals are going to somehow pull it off. I don't know why.
That's a tough game. And I was there. I'm telling you, Cincy's a crazy environment,
Yeah.
bro. Like, one of the best environments. I was surprised. It's one of the best environments. It's crazy.
Then they're going to Denver. Then they come to Houston. Then the Seahawks are coming into town. That could be it. Good win, but I don't know about that Geno Smith going to Arrowhead. Broncos
Agreed.
then go to KC. Chiefs then go to Vegas to close it out. I think the Raiders could somewhat pull it off because the Raiders are going to try to play spoiler division rival. I out of those 6 games, I could see 2 losses, maybe 3, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Don't count them out.
Looks like they're going to take the top seeds. It's
Yeah,
unfortunate, yeah.
Go ahead.
It's unfortunate, I think, that Tua got hurt. Like, let's just be honest. Like, the way this team is playing, I think we have like 1 or 2 more wins already, and now we're really contending for the top seed. Not only that, but we're substantially ahead of Buffalo for the division. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You can't go back, but it's kind of unfortunate. It's like, damn, like, the way we played and took care of business, those 3 stupid games. Cincinnati, say you give it to them because it was a short week. They came out, hard. But Minnesota, the way we were playing them with the backups, and the Jets, the way we played them with Skyler coming in for a hurt Bridgewater. Ooh, we might be like the Eagles record right now. We might be definitely contending. It just sucks.
You know what?
We got to take care of
We
business.
probably should not have lost. I mean, the team won, but we should not have lost that Jets game.
Agreed.
I
missed
think the
that field goal,
circumstances of how we lost it was unfair. And looking back on the whole Teddy Bridgewater thing and seeing how the NFL has handled hard quarterback hits since, it was a fraud. And we got played. And we might have a loss because of it. Because I don't believe in Teddy Bridgewater. Never have. And I'll tell you what, I probably said some nasty I wouldn't say to his face, but like about him being a choker or whatnot.
Right.
But he might have very well won that game. He had a whole game of prep.
Yes.
So yeah, losing that one, I think it kind of looking back now, that one really hurt. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Though I didn't think about that 3-game stretch, all the quarterback injuries, the NFL up in our business, ESPN up in our business, calling our coach the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
I actually thought Tua was going to retire, and frankly, let's be honest, that hit was horrific. And it's almost like we're seeing a different guy out there. I can't. It's hard to even fathom what we've seen this year alone. So I just went on in this terrible rant. You brought off the Jets to me, but whew.
No, but I get it. And it's funny because ever since he got pulled and like 3 other guys got pulled that same weekend, every time a guy gets hit in the game and he's like this, I'm like, aren't they going to pull him? Isn't the spotter going to pull? But they never do. That was just the media hype for that one weekend, which I said, I was like, it's the media hype when it dies down, and that's what happened. But it's like, yeah, it's unfortunate because it cost us the game. And quite frankly, who knows what was into his head, and they did the right thing by being precautionary, but he might have played against the Vikings if it wasn't for that hype too. So I don't know. I don't want to dwell on the past. Here's the thing. If we were for real then we'll be for real now. That's what I say. So if we would have been in 9-1, 10-1, whatever we would have been, or undefeated, whatever we want to have been, then we will beat enough teams down this stretch to get where we want to go. It's as simple as that. We're either going to do it or we're not. We either are that team or we're not that team. So no Bills crying and going back to our injuries. We're either going to take care of business or we're not going to take care of business. That's where we're at.
On the subject with ESPN and the media, there's 2 things why I'm not watching the ESPN shows. Number one, they are Bills lovers. They only talk about the Bills. They only talk about the Bills fans. I hate ESPN for doing that. Number 2, bro, I don't know if you guys saw it, but this is why I lost credibility for ESPN. Mainly today, Stephen A. Smith was talking about soccer and talking about how the U.S. team, I'm going back to soccer, but this brings up a point. Like, they're talking about how the U.S. was this a successful run? It really is, if you think about it, even though we scored 2 goals, had 2 draws and 1 win. It's very successful with the second youngest team in the world, and Stephen A. Smith and whatever that's face on that show.
I know what you're saying. Like, and I actually don't know anything about soccer, but I read that the defensive stand against those teams was like really a big deal, actually, and the fact that they just bloviate, they don't know their subject matter, and they don't bother to research it a lot of times, these talking heads, and they just spout off, I think is your point, Greg, and I agree with that. I know what you're saying. So before I go to T and give him the floor, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, will you please just click subscribe right under our face? It's actually under John's face on my screen. Just click it. Just click it. And then click like, and then share the video. And if you haven't done it, just do it. Join Fury Fam. Fury Fam is a great time. Look at this environment. Look at this camaraderie, for Christ's sake. All right. Floor is yours, sir. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Todd?
What's up, Shake? No, I just had to put a Bills fan in check. He's saying, "Oh, we finally got Miami's finally playing some competition."
Bro, see, why are they on this?
You know what I said?
What?
I said, so Detroit wasn't competition for y'all. It came down to the wire with Detroit.
Ooh, right.
Go, from what I recall, your quarterback's numbers didn't match even close to Tua's in that game.
Right. No, they didn't. And how about, I guess they're not competition since we beat them.
They're losers.
They are ridiculous, Todd. They're like on another level.
I am
ridiculous.
so sick of it, though. I'm like, Detroit's going to be a good team. We were the last team to beat them before they went on that win streak.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually kind of root for them, man. That city, that coach, like I root for them. Once we beat them, I was like, I hope they beat everybody else on this schedule.
They should have beat Buffalo.
They should have.
Just one play, man.
I know. I was disappointed. That ruined my day for a little bit, for like an hour. It really did.
Then the Patriots lost, and it was all better again.
So true.
Yes, it was.
By the
But
way,
you know what's interesting? I want to find. I was doing some research here. You know what I found interesting is that Zach Wilson is 5-2. His 2 losses came to the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you know when Mike, that same Mike quarterback that everybody's praising, played the Patriots beat them 54-13.
Yeah, but
so at the end of the day,
how many young quarterbacks have been through this league? And Tua is the only one that could say, "I'm daddy" to Bill Belichick.
Well, him and Mark Sanchez, but
Sanchez, butt fumble himself, man.
Yeah.
What a dude.
But no, but the same. But that's what I'm trying to say is that it's unfair that the Jets. I know it's because of because he's an asshole and he threw his team under the bus. But at the end of the day, Mike White, if he plays the Patriots, he ain't gonna do as much. He's not gonna do much better against Belichick either.
Well, I'll say this about the Pats defense. I mean, watching that game, even against the Vikings, we could say whatever we want about them being irrelevant. I don't think they're relevant. I think they're like a mediocre team, but their defense is their defense. This guy was the Giants' D coordinator. He's a good defensive coach.
Yeah.
Todd, go ahead.
Their defense is great.
Yeah, it really
But
is.
but their offense makes them not. They're not competitive.
Yes.
You know, they're nothing to worry about offensively.
Agreed.
You know, but defensively, hell, their offensive coaches are defensive coaches.
Yeah, you saw that Patricia is like their own coordinator.
So
Weird what they do over there. What a weird. And why has his son got the mullet? That's what I want to know. Like, your dad's the coach.
I have a feeling they're going to beat Buffalo though, because of that defense.
Well, dude,
I'm hoping.
Yeah, I'm hoping they get at least one against Buffalo. Like what? Let's just say this: Buffalo's been freaking pathetic in the division.
Yeah,
They haven't been good.
Everybody's still saying, "Oh, Josh Allen's the
Josh Allen's
person I would." This is where I say you're right about ESPN. ESPN keeps ranking Josh Allen as like the second best quarterback in the NFL. The man has more turnovers in the last 3 weeks than Tua's had all season.
Yo, who was it? Somebody did it. I think it was on ESPN. I forget the commentator. Who was it? They put up like Trevor Siemian stats or something.
No, they put
was
up. They put up the Jets quarterback who just got benched.
Wilson, is that what they did? They put up his stats and they were like they're the same numbers or something.
4
for
and
the last
7,
6 weeks.
four touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Yeah, somebody put that up and they're like, that's Allen the last 6 weeks. What do you want from me? You know, ESPN though is like a ratings league, right? So it took them a while to get on the Bills train. And once they're on the train, they're not going to get off until it's consistent. Like, you watch the Dolphins. If the Dolphins go all the way, like, deep in the playoffs, they'll be on our nuts next year. I promise you.
Right.
But if we lose one game, they're going to be like, they were pretenders. They're like, that's just what they do. They get adjusted to.
We knew
that's
they
why
were
Mac.
frauds. We knew
yes. That's why Mac Jones is the second coming still. And they keep saying he was great last year. And he was okay last year. Relax.
I still have this weird feeling Armstead's going to suit up. I don't know.
No,
why.
I think he is, though. Did you see the press conference today, Todd?
No, I've been working at my new job.
Dude, so who wants to break Todd the news that we heard in the press conference? Which one of you?
Armstead might play. Is that what the news?
Yeah. Well, so McDaniel said straight up, they said, what is going on with your tackles? And his answer was this. I am extreme. They said, what's going on with your tackles? He said, well, they're not tackling anybody because that's, McDaniel's sense of humor. Yeah. Then he said, well, I mean, I am ridiculously impressed. I am so impressed with Teron Armstead. If he's not playing, it's only because he's going to hurt himself or hurt this team. He is doing everything in his power to get in there and play. That's what he said.
Armstead's a beast. Armstead's a beast.
And then he said, I don't think that Austin Jackson is going to play this week. I would be surprised. So you know what that tells me? There's like that tells me it's like 75-27 he's playing.
I'll tell you what, I don't think he wants Jackson to play.
Jackson, maybe not. Yeah.
You look at Jackson even on the run plays. There was plays where he was not blocking anybody. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, Greg actually brought up a point. We'll see what you think of it earlier today. He said, if they had just, or Shake, who brought this up, damn it? You guys are confusing me. Shake, it was you, wasn't it? So, Shake, about Shell.
Oh, yeah, Shell.
Yeah.
That was the ugly.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah, you guys got to keep up with me. I'm trying here. So he said, Shake said in the good, the bad, the ugly segment, he said the ugly was that after Shell put in all the work to be the starting right tackle and did really well, we sat him for Austin
allowing
Jackson.
0 sacks.
Yes.
Allowing 0 sacks.
From the right. And then I said, well, isn't that interesting? Because had they just played Shell at starting right tackle and gone with Armstead at starting left tackle, as should be the case, then when Armstead got hurt, then Jackson could have come into his more natural position, which is left tackle the reserve, and we probably wouldn't have missed as much of a step. But instead, because they tried to force him to be the starter, Shell was out of position and actually destroyed the entire line. Big mistake.
I said that the other day, but I went one step further. I go, even if you started Jackson, the minute Armstead went down, you move Shell to right tackle and swing Jackson over to left.
Right. Yeah, well, I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know. I think I honestly think it has something to do with game day prep and the week that they go
Yeah,
in
but
installing the game plan.
Shell has been proven he is
Exactly.
a right tackle because he cannot handle a speed rush.
Right.
What is Jerry Hughes on the left side?
Right.
A speed rusher with 8.5 sacks this season.
Right.
Why are you going to throw Shell over there?
I don't know why. And I've seen other teams rotate and shuffle the line when they have an injury. I don't know why we didn't do it. It must have been some of these coaches, they have like a game plan. They stuck in it. They're like, if he goes down, he comes in, and they don't get off it. And I just think that's what happened. I don't know. And then I guess when they threw Skylar in, they didn't even care to change it anymore at that point. I really don't know.
I have a feeling we're going to spank San Fran.
You crazy, sir. Who else has a feeling we're going to spank San Fran? Who would put it that way? Because I would not.
Hey, hold up. First off, you got to think one running back just is out for 8 weeks now.
I think we win, actually.
John, you think we win?
I think we win, yeah. I do.
Damn, okay.
It's close.
Hey, hold up. Now, listen. They're worse than what we are right now because one of their running backs is out for 8 weeks. Their other running back is on light duty at practice this week because of a knee.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then you go to Debo, who's dealing with a hamstring pull. And then Garoppolo, you saw him rolling and screaming in pain the other day when he got hit on his knee.
I guess that's every team, though, right? Like we had
Wilson
go out grabbing his calf. Teron's got a torn pec.
Dude, they put up 13 points against the Saints because of how banged up they were.
All right, fair enough, dude. Fair enough. And they haven't played anybody either, so I don't know why I'm even getting so scared of them. But that's just
hold on.
Their defense is legit.
They're good. You know what? San Francisco could be in the Super Bowl this year, I think.
Right.
Granted, I think they are a quality team here. But I also think the Dolphins could be in the Super Bowl as well.
Listen, it comes down to one thing. How does our O-line play? Because their secondary, they play zone. Tua eats zones up with our receivers.
He does.
And that's what they play is zone. If our blocking can give any type of blocking, Tua will eat that defense up.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking. Obviously, we all are. Tua looks like he's hitting. He looks like he's vibing. These have not been very good teams he's run against the past 5 weeks, but you can't. His timing has. I think it's been pretty darn good. And that should continue against San Francisco.
Here, I got a question for all of you. Without looking it up, name a DB in San Fran.
Is Jason Verrett still there? Jimmy Ward?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to lie and say I follow him enough to know. I just know that they're supposed to be good.
Kavon Williams, I believe that's his name.
Dude, I don't follow other teams, but I still know a Ramsey on the Rams. You know what I mean? You still know when there's a good DB coming to town.
He's Hawaiian.
No, I'm saying, though, you know when there's a good DB coming to town.
Yeah.
True.
I don't know of any of their DBs. I don't know how they're going to cover our receivers if given time, especially running zone.
Is Deion Sanders still there?
Yeah, I mean, guys, I think I really do. I think San Francisco's in reach, and I think this team has a lot of potential here. And I guess I don't see a reason why we can't beat San Francisco. Is there a glaring reason, like an advantage they have over us, or something that we can't?
I say all things being even, all things being equal, if you look at the team, and I think our quarterback's probably better than Jimmy G, but Jimmy G's no joke. I think their defense is really good, but here's why I say it, and I've said this before, we're on the road. As simple as that. They have a good crowd. It's a West Coast to East Coast road. If this was in Miami, I would predict a Miami win. Like, I really would. That's it.
I'm more worried about Buffalo.
I'm worried about them, too. But
the only reason I'm more worried about Buffalo is that's a division game with a lot on the line. It's going to be a battle. And it's in Buffalo. It's a divisional game. Those are always the hardest. What happened the last time we played San Fran?
We beat them, didn't we?
Yeah, we
45 to 17. We had 30 points at halftime.
Where was
the
that?
last game?
Where was
San
that?
San Fran.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going nuts.
I didn't know that. Why do I forget it was in San Fran?
That was the last game we had 30 points at halftime up until Houston.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that game. And then the next game, I think was, a big deal about us getting us and the Chargers getting flexed up to Sunday night. I mean, just as a Dolphin fan in general, when the heck is the last time has that happened to us?
2016.
Right.
2016 during the Gase era. On Omar Kelly brought it up on Big O's.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, that shows the last time we had a team that was good was 2016. You know, and we had a pretty good run during that time.
That
So
was when we went to the playoffs under Gase. That was that first year.
And
exciting.
Pam's coming on. I want to give her the floor for a
Hey,
second.
Pam.
But John, first I want to go to you because you said
Pam,
something interesting.
how are you?
Hi, guys.
What's up, Pam? So, John, you said you think we beat San Fran, but you predicted 4 wins. So who do you think we lose to if we beat San Fran? Buffalo and who else? Who?
Well, definitely Buffalo. I don't see us getting past Buffalo, and I think it's in between the Chargers and we play the Patriots, right?
Yeah, on the road.
Yeah, so I think it's
Okay.
in between the Chargers or the Patriots. I think one of those teams get us.
You know what? I would say the Jets. And the only reason I would say the Jets.
not at home.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
They're not sweeping
If
us.
we have a playoff spot clinched, you don't think we're going to play our backups that game?
I don't think we're gonna have. We might have a playoff spot clinch. But
No,
we're not
I'm
gonna
saying
have a seed.
say we have it clinched in the division clinched because say we
doubt
beat
it.
Buffalo.
We better win 5 in a row then.
Yeah, we're not gonna. I don't see that happening.
No,
and I
because
still think we go.
Hey, hold up.
F
I
the
think
Jets.
Buffalo right now is not in a good spot mentally. Their offense is not. They're
Agreed.
turning it over. They can lose easily 2 to New England. They can lose again to the Jets. They can lose to us.
Agreed. Pam, what do you think of Buffalo? And what do you think in general about everything going on that we've been talking about? And what do you think of the Finns and this tough stretch we got coming up, this road trip? What do you think, Pam?
Right. First of all, I love that you said Barfalo because I always call them Barfalo.
I know, that's why I said it.
Oh, okay.
That was homage to you. That was what that
Homage
was.
to me, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, I had us going 14-3 in the beginning of the season, and one of the games
So did
that
I.
I had us. I heard you. Good thinking there. So one of the games I had us losing was the San Fran game, but that was before the season started, right?
Mhm.
So after seeing what we've done, I no longer think that, and it's not that I think we're going to wipe out San Fran or that, it's just going to be a blowout or anything. But I do think we can win this game. I think it's very winnable. And I think it depends on how we scheme for it. So I think this is going to be more of a defensive battle than an offensive battle. Because San Fran's offense, I mean, they're weak. They got McCaffrey, who's amazing. But I think he's a little nicked up, right?
Yes, he's really banged
limited in
up right now.
practice.
Yeah. And of course, the thing about our O-line being nicked up too, but I think he's going to play, right? So this is what we're hearing.
It seems like it's trending that way. We don't have confirmation, but it's
what?
It seems like to me it seems like it's trending that way.
I think
Yes.
it comes down to, is it going to get hurt any worse? If it doesn't,
Yes. Right.
there's that old saying, there's a difference between being hurt and being injured.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Hurt, you can get out there and tough it out. Injured,
Yeah.
you're injured. There ain't nothing you can do.
Right.
Well, the thing that I would hate to see, and I don't believe that our team would do that, is to put him out there and then he's out for the rest of the season because he
Right.
gets totally
And see,
torn up, right? It's not worth
McDaniel would be furious if somebody let him go out there without, because you want him for the playoffs, if anything.
And exactly. And there's no reason if he's a little nicked up, okay, let's give him a week's break. And I think we can scheme our way
Mhm.
into winning that game without him, right? But
Even if he's in, Pam, I say we're going to have to scheme around him because you don't want to put too much stress on him or pressure so that he does re-injured or so that he's vulnerable. So if he's in, it's like a blessing. I think we're still going to try to find a way to scheme around
Armstead
what we've been doing.
The other
Well,
Armstead might not be playing either for San Fran.
it's true. But like a player like Bosa is going to go for a weakness, right? He's going to
Yes.
see something and he's going to be like a dog with a bone.
Yes,
but
yes.
he's also kind of injury prone. So, there were people saying it earlier today on a space. He better watch what he's asking for. But
And it's not
Bosa
even,
he's bad to the bone. That
yeah,
dude's
he is.
really good.
But here's the thing: we got a fullback now. We have a tight
Yes,
end.
thank
You've
goodness.
got to use these guys to help out the left side with Bosa.
You
Even if
gotta
even if Armstead's in there, I'm going to throw help over because I know he's
Agreed.
you gotta mass protect, right? So totally protect. So Smythe in this last game, boy, did he miss those 2 blocks, and it
Big
was
time.
bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if giving him that spot again, Gesicki, I mean, people talk about him not being able to block, but I think he's gotten better at that. I think
What? Hey,
Gesicki is.
let me ask you
He
this
tries,
though:
Pam. That's one thing you can say about
if
Kasicki. He's not physically like built as a blocker, but he's not like just lazy out there. I mean, the guy
No.
wants to improve. It's
hey,
just not his
now
skill set.
you could pull in a sixth offensive lineman as a tight end in some sets too to max protect.
You
You
can,
know,
yes.
That's what I thought
Brilliant.
they should have done with Austin Jackson last week, to be
well,
honest
yes,
with you. I
but
thought he was going to.
but there's plays where you can do that, and we have a guy who is actually pretty athletic for his size playing guard, who you saw could catch the ball.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be
Yes.
surprised if Chris or if Wilkins is saying, "Throw me in on offense," because he's
He
done it
probably
before.
is. You know him.
He's done it before, and he's caught a touchdown pass.
He
Yes.
has. And why
So
not? What are we saving it for? Do it. Do whatever we got to do. Kitchen
because
sink. I always say the kitchen sink.
because I tell you right now, if we max protect, I don't think they can cover our 2 receivers going deeper downfield.
No,
So,
or whoever else we can throw the ball to, because of course those 2 guys, they draw all the protection, right? They're the ones drawing the defense to them, which leaves everybody else wide open, including the run game. And of course, Wilson Jr. along with Mostert, what a 1-2 punch. I want to see that used way more.
yeah, thanks for
But
bringing that. I was thinking about, I don't know what you guys think about the whole Wilson Jr. thing. I feel like Kyle Shanahan, is that his name? Kyle Shanahan, the coach of the,
It
yes,
is that
is.
his dad's
yes.
name?
No,
Okay,
that's
Kyle
Kyle.
Yeah.
Shanahan.
Mike was the dad.
Mike is his dad. Mike
Okay,
is his
okay,
dad.
good. I'm getting so confused these days. Okay, so Kyle Shanahan felt like he did us a favor by trading us Wilson Jr.
God,
And
he's
and
hating
I
life right now.
wonder, I really wonder this deep inside. Does our coach want to come out and let Wilson Jr. go off for a big game? Does he want to embarrass? I'm
I
seriously wondering about this. What do you guys do?
I don't think he does, but I can guarantee you right now, Moser and Wilson
Wilson
both want to have a
Wilson
good.
Jr. Well, yes,
They
They
that's
both
do.
want to have a good game
100%.
against San Fran. I
So
They're
They
both
guarantee you they
do.
do.
beasts,
Now,
bro.
does our coach want to let Moser is one thing. I think Wilson Jr. I feel like Kyle Shanahan did us a favor
What are
this
you
year.
talking
I
about,
don't know if you
Moser? They
guys
didn't even want to give him a contract.
well,
that's
that was
right.
fine. Yeah, we picked him up. He's
That's
fair
a
game.
slap
He
in
can
the
go off.
no,
He
but
should go off.
That's
but
true.
regardless, he felt that was disrespectful. They didn't offer him a contract.
Yeah,
He
Yes.
but
wants to do it
The
just as bad
Wilson
as
Jr.
Wilson.
guy, yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. That trade that so
Yeah, I know
him,
what you're
dude.
saying, John.
Like, I mean, you gotta wonder, do we want to win, and it's because of Wilson Jr. Could you imagine?
That would be
But it's the
crazy.
Hey,
coach too, right? So I give us the nod in coaching. Believe it or not, I give us the nod because Shanahan never allowed McDaniel to just do full on McDaniels with that offense, right? So I know that Shanahan thinks he knows McDaniel, but I'm telling you, McDaniel knows Shanahan way more.
Hey,
And he is going to I give us the edge in coaching. I give us the edge in a
guys,
couple places.
Here's
who
why
has
I
a
give
well,
the
computer? Who
I
has
just
a
want to say
computer?
something. I want to say something when you get a chance after you, Todd.
Who has a computer?
I do.
Pull up Debo's stats. That'll show you how much McDaniel has missed because Debo's the one who sat in with McDaniel, and did
That's
plays
true.
run for
That's
him.
true.
Look at Debo's stats now.
So another thing that I is that McDaniel, and I think he's been doing it all year long. I think he's playing a little bit of smoke and mirrors. I'm not positive that the injury that we think happened actually happened. I want to say maybe there was a little nick and they just pulled him out to be sure that he didn't get hurt. I swear I think it was all planned to begin with.
But-
I think if they do that,
McDaniel's
though, they're
planned that.
surfing for another sanction from the NFL. So I don't
I
know.
just
Well,
want
no. If he
I just want to
gets
put
a little nick,
And then we don't want to
have
be
Debo
like
stats.
our favorite person. Do we really want to?
But,
No,
Oh, yeah.
Do we
no.
really want to do this?
No,
Shut
but
up,
I
Greg.
think he's playing some of that. I think he's playing a little bit of that, and I love it. I love that he's doing
but
it.
I have
Shake.
But here's the thing. I just want to say, I just want a little pushback on what Pam is saying, because here's the thing. You could say the same thing about Sean McVay. Sean McVay knew more about Kyle Shanahan than McVay, but Kyle Shanahan always had the upper hand on McVay. Now, the one thing that McDaniels does have the upper hand is McDaniels knows everybody on that roster. Shanahan doesn't know 80% of this roster. He probably knows maybe the handful of players that were there last year.
I can push back on you, Shake. McDaniel was with Mike Shanahan and helped design the offense even better. And he was a big part of reshaping Mike Shanahan's offense before Kyle was even around.
That's true.
Yeah, but that's Mike Shanahan's. That's not Kyle Shanahan. They're two different quarterbacks. And not to mention that he has Anthony Lynn, so they're doing a totally different playbook as well. So he's implementing Anthony Lynn's game plan as well. So
now
it's not the same
That's a
thing.
good point, Shake.
About
That's
the
a good
coaching,
point.
I go with Pam, and here's why I do. McDaniel was an assistant to Kyle. So Kyle knows a whole hell of a lot about McDaniel, fine. But Kyle was the head coach running the system while McDaniel was just one small aspect. So to Pam's point, he knows Kyle already as a head coach, as a macro scheme. Shanahan only knows him in a micro sense, and the evolution, he's going to know a good amount about it, but how much? And then the second thing is this. Kyle doesn't know a damn thing to the extent of any other head coach in the league about Miami's roster top to bottom. But McDaniel knows San Francisco's strengths, weaknesses, and their roster top to bottom because he was the coach there.
Yeah,
Kyle's just scouting him as any other coach. So I do think that's an advantage to us. I do.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Y'all remember Tyreek's interview a couple of days back? You remember what Tyreek?
I mean, I follow him when I can. He's amazing.
It was
He's
about a week
hilarious,
ago.
but I don't know.
No, about a week ago, I think it was actually.
What'd he say?
Tyreek said that McDaniel is letting him run plays that he's never let run in this offense before. It's
Yes,
not
that I
supposed to be
did
this
hear.
offense.
Yes.
And when you're saying that, that means McDaniel is completely revamping things and changing the way the offense runs from what he's throwing some of it in, but then he's changing a whole bunch.
Think about it. That's what
talent.
every great student does that with their teacher. They build off philosophies they liked and didn't like. You know, he was sitting there for years like, I love that, Kyle. If you just do this, I don't like. And you're right. He's building on it, Todd. You're right. Shake, what were you saying?
They did the same thing with when they drafted RG3. They had to change their whole scheme. So they're both good at changing on the fly.
Yeah.
Well, and I just feel like McDaniel is so cerebral, right? He's a cerebral guy with a smart aleck sense of humor that I completely love. And, so he's an egghead, but he's got this great personality too. And you don't find that combination much, but I think he gets a lot of joy out of the scheming aspects of it.
I do too. Yeah. Dude, he loves that. He even said when he got his press conference when he got introduced, he's the type of person who will wake up and write down plays that he had dreams about or write down this.
He's
crazy.
He went to Yale. He's nuts. Guy's sick.
Yeah. And by the way, John, I just want you to remember one thing. Mike Shanahan is Kyle Shanahan's biological father. Mike McDaniel is his football daddy.
Is his daddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good shit. That's good.
They're both
So
named
you're
Mike.
going to say
so just
Mike
remember that.
Shanahan is everyone's football daddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
great.
Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
hear him mic'd up?
I didn't yet. I want to. I just like how
I did.
he's comfortable in his own skin. Like he has his own
Dude.
style, his own swag, his own voice. But like
It's-
people in person really like him, so he's doing something right. I dig that. He must
It's
be authentic.
funny how the
And
players
it's hard to
when
be
they-
comfortable in your own skin, right?
Yeah.
Like, and especially in this spotlight, the heat that he's taken with everything that's
Yeah.
happened with this team, man, and he's not changed
Dude,
one
he makes-
iota. He
That's
has
cool.
not been
How many
shifted
coaches-
by this.
How many coaches do you see make fun of themselves up on the podium
Not
on a regular
none.
basis?
He
None.
seems to be a very good hire. So
Yes.
So far, he
Seems to.
does. Yes.
Dude,
Now
what
you know
he
you got to
did-
do consistency. You got to put it together multiple seasons, see how
Hey,
the season ends.
yeah,
But so
I
far,
agree, but what he did for Tua was what he talked about recently
Yep.
with the confidence to break down 700 plays of what you do well.
He's a maniac.
How you know how many hours of tape
Yeah.
that is to break that down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See but I think what's beautiful about McDaniels is that he actually enjoys that. Like that kind of stuff. I don't know him personally, but based on what I'm seeing, that kind of stuff gets him excited. I mean, he's getting pumped about it. So,
Right.
Greg, boy, you scared me for a second.
I know. I was like, what the hell
I
was that?
know.
Sorry.
And you know
summoned.
the thing about that, John, like what you were saying, so it's for real, right? Like it's coming from who he is, because you can't fake that crap. So
Yeah.
Tua totally trusts him. You can tell their relationship, and you cannot fake that. So you try and fake that with someone like Tua, who is a honest, from the heart type of guy. It's not going to work.
Yep. We
For
might
Tua to
have a
bring
coach of the year right here.
I-
Tua to-
well,
for-
We
We
very
know
well
we
may.
do. The problem is will everyone else recognize it? But we know we
You-
do.
You know, the only competition I think we'll have for coach of the year is one person, and that's going to be tough because when they've only lost one game so far, it's kind
Oh
of tough.
Lord, no.
You know what I mean? It's still
Yes.
that's the only reason I think
But
Mike
their
would get slighted.
schedule. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
but he
it's
didn't
so-
turn around a quarterback, I don't think. I mean,
No,
Tua's
he turned-
like he's a
dude. Before the season, everybody's wondering if he's a starter. Now you're wondering if he's above Mahomes or right below.
It's
MVP,
pretty
right?
true.
MVP.
It's pretty crazy. Like if you really step back and think about it, that's pretty
unbelievable.
nuts. Yeah,
and
it
honestly,
really is.
this is surreal for a Dolphin fan. We're in a spot to where everything, that's cold weather's coming, man, and I'm wondering something's coming.
I
There's
know,
a storm
John.
brewing.
I know.
Because
Because when have we? Yes. Because
what
it's
the hell
surreal.
is going on, guys? We've
Dude,
got a
I
hot
have a lot-
TV, we got a hot coach, a hot team. I mean,
I have a lot
Yes.
of gray hair from my past, and that's all due to the damn
Me
Dolphins.
too, John.
Okay,
Yes.
I blame it on
Covered
Miami. Okay, I blame it on Miami. So
It
this
is-
is the
it
first
is
year I
true.
can actually sit back and enjoy in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm 47 years old.
Oh,
I've been watching.
oh
I've
my
been in
God.
love with Miami since. I've been in love with Miami since I was 9 years old.
So
watching
you
them.
outrank me, sir. You outrank me. You definitely outrank Greg. Okay.
Yeah, you don't outrank me. I gotta tell you, my son's fixing to turn 40. My oldest
Oh, my
one.
goodness.
I'm 62. So
Definitely don't look at
See,
Pam.
look.
So,
See, here's the thing with Pam.
Cam, you can
Pam
kiss
doesn't
my butt
understand.
because you don't look it. I do. Okay.
See, here's
that's
the
why
thing.
Todd don't even
Here's
have
the
his
thing.
face up here. Todd don't even want us in
See,
the Todd.
me.
Oh, here he
You can't-
comes.
Nope, you can't see my face. I'm outside.
Oh shit.
God.
Here's the thing, Pam. I'm 40. I'm 44, right? Todd's 47, and we're getting ARP cards. You're still getting ID when you buy alcohol, okay?
Well, maybe not in the last 4 or 5 years, but it did happen. 4 or 5 years ago, it still did happen. That's
Oh, see?
I say my Cherokee blood. That's it. Keeps
There you
me
go.
young.
You know, it does. That does keep people young. Now, this
It
is
does.
Greg, I don't mean to put you on the spot, sir, but we all know we had the glory years. What made you? Was it like where did your Dolphins love start, and what is like your earliest memories? Like, was it because we had like glory years? Did you have like was it the early 00s? Like, tell us. Was it Ricky Ronnie? What was it, sir?
So what ended up happening was, I 8 years old and whatnot. I was a little kid. I really didn't care about sports then. But I was playing with my toys when I was a little boy, a little lad. My dad was screaming at the television, so I came out. He was watching the Dolphins versus Patriots up here in New England, 2008. Dolphins were blowing out the Patriots. It was Ricky.
Yes.
Wildcat
I know
game.
where I was in that game, sir. I know exactly where I was. So keep going.
Of course, I was.
Me too.
We all do.
Down during that game, and then I just kept following the Dolphins. I got a custom Jake Long jersey with my favorite player back then.
That's awesome.
And then I just kept following the team, and then I just kept going to school. People always said Patriots are better, but I just never let it get to me, and then just kept.
See, that's awesome. That is a great moment. You did fall in love because of a great moment. That's so cool.
See?
Was your dad a Pats fan?
Hey,
No,
by
my
the
dad
way,
Dolphins fan.
Oh, that helps. But
see,
that's
the gray hairs.
there he is.
hair.
There he is. Sir, you look good. You look fine, sir.
Oh, hey.
I like it. See, I like a man who could he's like, you know what? Here I am, though. Like, let me just show you.
Here
I
I
love that.
am. Yep.
Greg,
Fins, baby.
you
Go
became
Fins.
a fan over the Wildcat game? That was like the game?
That's cool, man.
That
Yeah.
Dude.
That's
That
is-
wild, isn't it?
Damn.
And let me
that's a
tell you
good one.
something. One of my favorite stories is I was a Dolphins fan growing up, like I was a Marlins fan,
Yeah.
a casual fan. I rooted for them because they were the home team. Because I'm from Miami.
Yeah.
And there was a game, week 3, where Brian Cox gave the Buffalo Bills the double bird salute. And that's when
I know that game.
that is when I became a diehard Dolphin
I
fan.
like
Brian
that.
Cox
Hey,
I like
That-
it.
made me a diehard Dolphin fan.
Love Brian Cox.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I've been watching them. I remember I have more respect for the young fans than I do the older fans.
Me
And
too.
Because we've
Because
been
the
through. We
Dolphins-
haven't seen the winning.
Well, the Dolphins
Right.
Dolphins haven't given them a reason to be a fan, and they still are. You got to have respect for that.
And they're
Makes sense.
diehard, right? So
Yeah.
there's so I've said it so many times. I don't know how these 30 somethings, 40 somethings are so diehard when they have nothing to celebrate, but they are diehard, and you've got to respect that.
People
But
like
it's coming
people
this
like,
year, guys.
I hope so. We had a lot of winning
Hey.
when I was a kid because we were always in first place. We never won the Super Bowl. Never went to the Super Bowl. I was born the year after our last Super Bowl appearance. So,
Oh, okay. 74,
85.
80. Oh, yeah, I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Yes,
Yeah,
85.
84 we went and we didn't win, but I was born 85. So I saw a lot of winning in the 90s, a lot of winning in the early,
I was
but
born
never
after- I
a
was
deep run in the
born-
playoffs.
Hey, I was born the year after our Super Bowl win.
Oh my
So-
lord!
so, yeah.
You're a baby too. Sorry.
So wait, 73 or 74?
74.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you never saw a Super Bowl, but at least you saw a couple Super Bowl appearances,
I
Todd.
saw
Yeah.
them make the Super
Yeah,
Bowl the
which
one
is
time.
big.
I remember them getting screwed the year New England played Chicago. The year
Yes,
we went to
85.
Chicago.
85 we were
We-
robbed.
We would have
We
beat
were
Chicago that year.
robbed.
Mhm.
We were the
New
only
England got
team to beat
destroyed.
Chicago. We
Yep,
were the
I
only
know.
team to beat
We
Chicago.
did,
They didn't want
yes.
us again.
I know.
And they didn't think it was good. That game,
Damn.
I remember being so mad. The disrespect, like we didn't have a chance in hell, right? And then we just waltz in there, and you're
That was
not
Monday
going
night,
for
right?
a perfect
Pam,
season.
Pam,
What?
do you
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
Do you remember the sliding Mark Clayton catch
Oh,
when he
my
fell on
gosh.
his back and he caught the pass,
Man,
sliding in the snow?
that was
awesome.
so
In the
beautiful.
Chicago game, he
Mm.
slid, he fell, and he slid, and he still somehow caught the ball.
I mean,
Hey.
Clayton and Duper, the duo, dynamic duo.
But they were
Good
good because
Lord.
they had them. Then the 82, they still went with in
You know,
between before Marino
listen,
with the
Richmond-
two like they
should
and
be
then
in the Hall
84
of-
with Marino. They had
Richmond
some success.
Richmond should be in
Richmond
the Hall
Webb.
of Fame.
I remember him.
But so should Mark Clayton.
Yeah, and they're still waiting on
Absolutely.
Zach too.
Mark Clayton.
Yeah, Zach should
belongs to
totally be
But-
in.
Yeah, but Mark
Mhm.
Clayton. I'm talking about Mark Clayton and Duper. They both somewhat should be in. You remember
They
Marino,
stole 100%.
and you remember Marino at his Hall of Fame speech through his last pass
Yes, I
to
do.
Clayton.
Yes, I
That
saw.
was-
Yes,
Mark
That was Marino's
That
way
was
of
awesome.
saying get him
Yeah.
into the Hall of Fame too.
that was awesome.
Great memories for that.
Well,
Thanks
by the
for
way,
bringing that up.
I'm
This is
kind-
the only Dolphin card I have. Brian Cox rookie card.
I love
love it.
I got that card too.
All
I
right,
got a
Jake,
lot
so-
of cards.
Jake,
Actually.
how much did you love it when Brian Cox wanted to fight the entire Cincinnati bench?
Brian
I
Cox was
loved it.
wild,
He probably
bro.
could have kicked their ass. Actually.
Oh man,
He's a
one
pretty
of the funny
tough guy.
stories. One of the funny stories I heard on the fish tank was before he was leaving the Buffalo game, and he peed in the cup. But when the guy he says, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm just peeing," whatever. He goes, "This is for a fan." And he said the first fan that said Brian Cox was stuck, he threw it in the guy's face.
Oh my god.
Like, oh my, yeah, that was how crazy Brian Cox was. But no,
Yes.
These days, oh
the
god.
Brian Cox.
Now,
Brian
does
Cox
Cox
hates-
or there would be like every channel, every talking head now, the piss in
Every-
the face.
That's
Back
right.
then, the fans probably like, fuck you, Cox, probably tried to fight him and no one cared. But nowadays,
Oh,
forget
but
it.
they
used to hate
did.
the bus.
They
They used
hated
to
him.
try. They used to try to tip our bus when we were leaving Buffalo.
Yeah, I could see it. You ever
They
see, I
would
mean, you
take the hell out the
I
bus.
wouldn't have known that. That's great. I would not have known that. That's cool.
Oh,
It
there
broke
was
my
some
heart. It
stories
broke my heart
about
when the Buffalo Bills signed his son, but he no longer plays with them.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So I wanted to ask. I
And
mean,
Pam, Brian Cox Jr. is a Gator, so
Oh, I know. I absolutely know.
John, what were you
And
saying?
Jake, I love some Brian Cox, man. He is really, he actually makes me laugh when he just talks about football.
Yes, me too.
I love his personality. But I just wanted to reflect a little bit. I mean, we were all kind of talking about how we became fans, and we're remembering the good years, and it's feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it with you guys, and I don't think we normally can have a conversation this late in the season. We're normally talking about all the bad stuff. So,
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
but I mean, I'm wondering, have we had that moment this year that brought in the Greg, that brought in the John and the Larry? Are we still waiting for that moment? Have you guys seen it yet?
I think we are waiting for it. I think it
we're on the
could
cusp,
happen.
'cause-
I think it could happen either this week or it can
That'd be
happen
epic.
against Buffalo
We get our moment.
if we take Buffalo out again.
Ooh.
I don't know
Yeah,
that.
they're
I mean,
The
I think
Chargers
there's
game
been
is a
quite a
primetime
few
game.
moments.
Yeah.
Because when I look at it, I think that a lot of our society
Well,
is
hold
what
up.
have you done for me lately?
Hold up. There is one moment.
yeah, I agree.
There is one moment we had this year.
Oh, well, the one I remember is not good. So I
No.
hope you're not going there.
Yeah.
What about
Give us a good
Baltimore?
one. Give us a good one.
What about Baltimore? 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, well that was a hell of a
Coming
moment.
back.
But I think Tua and
No, I'm saying
McDaniel have a
bring
lot
in
of
a
young people.
guy.
Yeah, I just don't know if it was nationally televised and how many people. But even when it wasn't,
Saw
maybe
it.
I'm sure some people picked up some
Yes.
fans from that game with Tyreek giving the peace sign and all that. But I think with Tyreek, a lot of young people already liked him even when he was on the Chiefs. Now he's with Miami. Now the turns heads. You got McDaniel and Tua, who are these unique personalities. I think you have a lot of young people who their interest has been piqued right now with this current iteration of the team. Now, if we make a deep run or have a big moment on national TV against the Chargers or in a playoff game, I think you cement some fans, yeah. Because I
We
think
might
the
get a
interest is
miracle
there.
catch or
Dude,
something.
yeah, but
Yeah.
can you imagine being a
Yeah,
young
the
kid-
miracle
or
in
a young-
Miami, that was
Can you
amazing.
imagine being a young kid
Yes,
who's
it
not big into football though, watching your dad jump up and down because
Yeah, it might have been the
he came
miracle in
back
That's
from
Miami,
Baltimore.
amazing. We love that. We love that story about you. We love that.
Yeah, the miracle in
amazing.
Miami, man. That probably got some fans too. The way you got Greg.
Oh,
That's
I
what
was
Greg
at- I
said.
was
That was
I was at work watching that one, and I was jumping
were-
up. Everybody thought I was crazy at work.
that's a fan maker.
Serious
You're
time.
right. That was our last big moment. That one. That was a good one. too.
I'll tell you what, the priceless thing that I took away from that was seeing Pansy's face, because they were over there on the sidelines and they're congratulating each
Yeah.
other because this game is done, right?
That was awesome. Yes.
Gronk
Well,
ball,
Pansy
watching
is,
Gronk.
I
Yeah,
can't
wasn't
even hardly
Gronk just
say his
laid
name.
out?
I hate him so
Yeah,
bad.
Dude,
Gronk,
Gronk, that was the best.
That was
And the best was the commentary before. Tannehill will throw it, and this will end it, or will it? Oh, look
But I
out! And it's like,
But I hate.
I know the whole damn
Hey.
thing. 'Cause I watch it so
But I
many
hate-
times.
Look out, he doesn't have the
I got
angle.
the t-shirt
He
with
doesn't
the
have
Doesn't have the angle. Oh, look out! And then and it's a miracle in Miami.
Hey, I hate to say it, that's my second favorite moment.
I mean, yeah, it's a great moment. Shoot, you could, there's
No,
T-shirts.
my
with the,
second.
We
They made it
did
into
Tom
an
Brady,
NFL
right?
commercial.
Was that be it?
Close
That
number
was
one.
it for the Patriots.
Number
That was it.
one.
that was the end. You're right, John.
Hey,
You're right.
Hey, number one though for me, I love the fake spike against the Jets.
Well, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's another
gosh,
good
that's
one. Yeah.
amazing.
When
I
Bernie
can't even
Kosar
tell
called in the play from the
Yes.
sidelines to Marino for the fake
Yes,
spike.
yes,
you.
Dude,
yes,
it had a, I love that play.
yes.
Maybe
That was
because I have
beautiful.
family who were Jet fans and I got to rub it in a little bit
Well,
more.
me too. That's why my worst memory is the Jumbo Elliott touchdown pass on Monday Night Football. I had to go into school the next day, into high school, like freshman year, whatever it was, the next day, and all these damn Jets fans. I knew exactly who they were. We sat next to each other, and all that, and look, we're blowing them out. I can't wait to sit next to that jerk and laugh in his face. I sit down, I just put my head down, and like, oh, what happened, Larry? What happened, Larry?
Yeah.
We were like at each other's throats in high school, and grammar
Was that-
my whole life.
Does everybody know who the Soup Nazi is? Does anybody
Yeah,
know?
hell
Yeah.
yeah, I know who the damn shit. I watch
from
Seinfeld,
Seinfeld.
sir. Yes.
Okay. So my favorite moment, I'm gonna tie in with that, was when Ryan Fitzpatrick throws a touchdown to Gesicki, and no bye week for you, Patriots. No bye week for you.
Yeah, I like that.
That's good.
Hey, do you remember though what happened after that?
Titans.
Brian Flores ate well.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
Andy Reid sent him barbecue from Kansas City
Yep.
Wow.
because
Coaches though.
we really did end the Patriots dynasty, and that's why Brady, to his credit, when JT retired, he wrote a letter to the Hall of Fame trying to push him in to be a first ballot Hall of Famers. Like Jason
JT
Taylor
is
was the
one of my
toughest guy.
all-time
Yeah.
favorites.
Jason Taylor.
He gave the Patriots the
he's
hardest
amazing.
run, aside from I guess the Colts, but.
I'm respecting
So I
Tom
don't know
Brady
if
a lot more now that he doesn't
Me too,
play for
John.
the Patriots.
Dude, John, you know what it was too? Because I always said he's a system quarterback. He left. I don't care how good the team was. It's hard to win a Super Bowl in this league. He left his first year that he wins, and Belichick has been irrelevant ever since. I respected him more ever since that. Because I'll take an L, bro. I'm objective. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I said, if they separate, I predict Belichick to succeed, not him. I was wrong. What are you going to do?
Brady, in my eyes, truly the greatest.
I was right.
Yes, agreed, John.
I got the Chiefs beating Buffalo tomorrow night. I got the Patriots beating
You're not the
Buffalo.
only one. I would love for that to happen, too.
Yeah.
And I think they
And-
might.
And you know what's funny? And what's funny is my second all favorite Dolphin. I love him, and it's not for what he did on the field. I'll give you a hint. All right, Miami.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Jim Mandich. Oh,
bro.
man, I love that guy.
Because, I used to, before they regulated it, if the game wasn't on TV in my area, I would get the stream, like even ancient, get the stream on like the old internet and listen to Mandich announce the game. That's how I always listened to the game
I got you
as a
even better.
kid.
I got you even better.
What
We
do you
used
got?
to watch the game on TV,
Mhm.
turn the volume down, turn the radio up, and listen to Mandich call.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't blame you at all.
That's what I used to do. That's what I used to do.
That's awesome.
Hard to get the timing right.
It was on 99.
Yeah, the timing.
Humphrey.
That because I see the guys at the ball games with the old guys always got it in their ear and they're listening to because it's like baseball guys. Oh yeah,
Like,
pitch up
damn.
in the 1-0-6.
No,
and
the
the
timing-
timing throws
was
me
always-
off.
Dude, the timing was always right when I did that.
That's good.
If it can't be Mandich, whose stream you listening to?
Yours, of course.
Mine.
See, there you go. There you
'Cause
go.
I'm a crazy
Hey,
girl.
listen.
listening to the Dolphins.
I have a confession to make.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
Oh God.
I have a confession to make.
I'm listening.
Are we all gonna hide?
I sometimes root against the Dolphins. No. I sometimes root against the Dolphins because a pissed off Pam is an entertaining Pam.
Oh my God. Shake, I don't know. That shake is blasphemous, sir.
It is pretty entertaining because I am like
Okay, so
crazy
you got some
girl.
valid reactions.
I could
'cause-
never stream the game because you would hear my mouth cursing up and down when things aren't going
Well,
well.
no. So this is me, except for it's not the cursing part, but I am like a bullcrap girl. It'd be like bullcrap. So yeah,
Well,
but
I could do a replay. Watch. All right, flag on the play. What? You better pick that flag up. You better pick what? No, that is bull crap. That is total bull crap.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Well,
I think we all agree.
the the guys in the Dolphin Den. I have a Dolphin Den. Like if you haven't been on, it's on Facebook. Dolphin Den. It's like a page, whatever. I have a group chat with the admins on that. They know, like, I'm just angry during the game, like, this is bullshit. And my family, like, my dad has said before, he's like, I don't want to watch the game with Larry. Well, why? Because he's always screaming, yelling. I used to storm upstairs, like, in the middle, and then, like, turn the game on in my room, and, like, be watching my dad's like, hey, he's nuts. My sister's like, Larry, relax. They completed the next pit. I'm a psycho. That's why I don't do the live stream, because it wouldn't be fun. Wouldn't be fun.
Hey, who coined
My stream is pretty much like
It's hilarious,
Yeah.
by the way.
Who coined the phrase?
My
Bill
husband
Belichick?
watches in the other room. He doesn't
Yes.
watch it. It's not like our house is that big. It's like right there, but
Yeah.
still,
I think
he
we're all
watches
straight
in the other room.
split
He don't watch with
personality
me.
during a Dolphin game.
Hey,
1 second, I'm
guys,
like,
hey,
I
yeah,
get
guys,
hyped
let's
and then
do it.
angry. Yes, like
I know
my
Pam
girl will
knows
be
his
looking at me like,
answer.
"You're breaking the remote. Don't break the remote. It doesn't. They're gonna score. Stop it. Now you can't even see it, you idiot."
Hey, Pam,
I'm like, ah,
Pam. I know you know this. I know you know this answer.
so
So
irrational.
don't answer. But anybody else
Okay.
up here? Who coined the phrase Bill Belichick?
Me. I don't know. I
have
think
no
it was
idea.
me.
Don Shula.
Yep.
Don
Okay.
Shula.
Don
Oh,
Shula
he
didn't he?
did?
That's epic.
Yes.
I think you're
I
right.
didn't know that. I didn't.
Yes.
I.
Don Shula called him Bill Belichick for the first time before he.
Oh
couple
my
years
gosh!
before he
I
passed
did not
away.
know that. Wow.
Interesting.
That's
I
why
thought
he
it was
wants to
You
beat
heard
his
it
record.
from me. I'm serious. I started saying that years ago in the Cheatriots. Belichick and the Cheatriots. I've been saying that for ever.
You know who the
So-
coolest person? What was your coolest memory being a Miami fan? All of you, one by one.
Oh,
Did you ever have one experience that stands out above any, just as an experience?
mm. There's so many. It's like picking a child, right? Your favorite
I can
child.
take one. I can tell you one real quick.
Go ahead.
I got
Jake.
one.
When Dan Campbell was the interim head coach, and we finally beat Houston for the first time, and we beat them in a blowout fashion. I
Blowout.
will always remember that day.
I was at that game, and there was a lot of Houston fans there, and they were so cocky. So they're like right behind my
Yeah,
head,
they kick their
you
ass
know.
every year.
I was there with NorCal, and it was the Dolphin fan weekend, and I mean there was a whole bunch of them, and this one guy, like, he's in the back of my head, and I don't take that well, like I just don't. But then everything started changing, and he got so quiet, and I'm turning around going, "Hey, how you loving this game?" Like grinding it in. No, that was a great game.
Larry, what's yours?
So I went to the Jets game 08 when we won the division, and Favre was playing for the Jets, and I was surrounded by so many Jets fans and some Fins fans. They really thought they had a chance at making the playoffs, and we beat them to win the division, which is one of the few times we won a division in the last 20 years. Favre threw a bunch of interceptions. Anthony Fasano caught like a really nice pass. Pennington played great. We won the division. Going home, we had to take like a shuttle bus from the stadium to the parking lot. We're with a bunch of Jets fans and all these people with Favre jerseys from like Green Bay, and they're all like in the worst mood, and we're just hyped as hell we won the division. And I have other memories too, but that's just like, that's a good one. That's like one of the ones
Hey,
that stands out.
I worked for a summer camp,
Mm-hmm.
and we took the kids down to the Dolphins, a Dolphin Day, and I got to learn to run routes and show the kids how to run routes by Mark Clayton.
Oh my gosh.
I met Mark Logan, caught passes from Jim Jensen. There was just
That's
a
awesome.
bunch of, and Mark Duper was there, and they were throwing passes as I was running routes to show the kids what to do. Then we'd have the kids run them. It was just an awesome day all around. It was just incredible.
Awesome.
Wow.
I love it.
That does. I got an odd one for you guys though. It actually
Oh, it's
doesn't
done.
have anything with the Dolphins playing at all. One of my fondest memories of being a Dolphin fan was literally the Giants versus Patriots Super Bowl
Oh,
when
God.
the Patriots ended up losing. The Dolphins saved their perfect season. The Patriots went
Yes,
down.
that was great.
So odd, but that is like one of my fondest memories of being a Dolphin fan. How strange!
No, it
and I
was
enjoyed that
huge,
night.
Sean.
Hey,
I
Yes.
get that.
and Sam Madison was on that team, by the way. Sam Madison, the coach that we have now, is on that team.
Oh, Sam Madison was the
Madison.
man.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
my man too. I
he was
loved
the
him.
man.
Loved
I
him.
remember.
Exactly.
I remember
And
one
the
year
Texas fan.
I got
Yes.
free season tickets for me and 4 of my friends all year.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
That's
That's so
it in the
cool.
lottery right there. That's
Hey, I
lucky.
worked at Publix, and I don't know if you all remember this, but there was a year where they said certain items would save you money off of tickets.
Yeah.
I worked at Publix, and we got to take the cashier receipt.
Wow.
So when we got
awesome.
up there, when we got down there, I got about 40 tickets, about 10 tickets per game if I wanted. Some we got 10, some we got 5, but we never went below 5.
Wow.
And we got all these tickets for every home game. One of the games I got to watch Madison have 3 picks in a game, which was awesome against Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It was just a wonderful year where all of us got to go down there and party, and none of us paid for one ticket.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So
Amazing.
I know. So do you guys remember one of my favorite players, a Miami Dolphin player, was Rondy Gadsden?
Oh yeah, I loved him. I was a
Wow.
wide receiver as a kid, so he was my idol.
Gadsden.
Bad feet,
Him and
were
McDuffie were
always
my
hurting, but he was so good.
yeah. Him
So
and McDuffie.
not to move it on from the fond memories we have, guys, but I'm really curious to hear what everyone thinks about our chances to win the division, to take number 1 in the conference. I don't really believe in that, or getting a wild. I think bare minimum we're in a wild card spot, but I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it out there, guys. I think we're in a wild card spot, and I sure would like to win that division.
I think we win the division because right now, I can honestly say we're playing better football than Buffalo.
That's what I want to hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, look, I could see either way. You got to ask me in a couple weeks. I think we're in the playoffs unless we have an epic collapse, but I don't know yet. I got to look.
Here's the difference, though. How many turnovers has Buffalo had in the last 5 weeks? Tua has not thrown a pick since Cincinnati.
Yeah, probably. You're right.
Yeah, but come on.
But
let's be real with ourselves. Tua, I don't know if it's because he's a lefty or not. He's put a lot in the baskets of defenders, okay? And they have frankly dropped balls.
But John,
not lately. No, not lately.
So John, let me ask you.
He did that, and he was rusty. He didn't play for 3 weeks before that.
Do you think that? So there's a few times, and I don't disagree with you on that point, but there is a few times where you could see there was miscommunication with the receiver, right? So you could see that the route, because he's throwing that ball before the receiver's there. He's absolutely throwing to a spot sometimes. And I think there's been miscommunication between him and the receiver. Now, that's not every time, but I thought that happened several times.
Well, hold up. Here, I agree with what you're saying, but
we lost
also
our host, by the way.
But also, I will say this: the more he's getting comfortable with the offense, the less you're seeing it.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but Josh Allen, of course. I mean, he's having a lot of turnovers.
He leads the NFL in interceptions.
He still scores a lot of points. He is a good quarterback to me, and Tua's been good too. All right, but Tua has been a different quarterback recently. But even at the beginning of this year, and granted, maybe miscommunication. I don't know what. Every quarterback's going to have these problems. Tua was repeatedly putting the ball in the breadbasket of defenders. They weren't coming up with it, and that's okay. But I just want to say, Josh Allen, he's throwing some of these, they're catching it. Tua, he's throwing some of these, they dropped it.
We dropped 3 picks on Josh Allen in that one game alone.
And also, so
Sam Madison had 2 of them.
Josh Allen is hurt. He's nicked up pretty good, and I think his style of play is catching up with him. You know what I mean? Like you can't just sit there and just play that kind of game on a long career. It's not going to happen.
He's 85% of their offense running and passing.
Absolutely.
So are you guys think he's got some turnovers recently? Do you think that's because he's nicked up? Is it his style of play? I think it's in his head. What's
And
in his
those
head? The guy's
turnovers
8
in
and
the end
3.
Well,
zone,
listen,
like those last two. What game was it?
Mentally
Was it
drained. I think he's physically and
Minnesota?
mentally drained.
What was the game where he
He
turned
just
it over
he
twice at the end? Was it Minnesota?
yeah, that was the Minnesota game.
Yeah, I mean, those were straight up on him. He couldn't put that on anybody. It wasn't the defense. It wasn't anybody. It was him. So I don't know what's going on. And you may be right. It may be in his head, but he is nicked up
Well,
pretty
you know,
good.
we're complaining our run game isn't there, right? Buffalo has no run game except for Josh Allen running.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I've got
he
them.
knows he's the weight of the world is on him on that offense. He is that offense.
He's that
How
team
long can
in
you
a
go
lot of
without
ways.
snapping?
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
So do you think his turnovers recently are going to be a trend, or is this a
a
one-off?
trend.
Because again,
I think it's a trend.
I mean, I
You
don't. There's
do
a lot
realize
on him.
he's
He
on
lost
pace
his
to break
offensive
Brett Favre's
coordinator.
record.
I don't know what the cause of this is. I think the guy, I'm seeing him, he seems to be a baller to me. He has, I like to, when I think about a baller, I like to think about Matt Moore, the guy who's just going to put it out there. He's going to throw the
Yeah.
ball. He's going to take the hit. But
Yeah.
the guy, he likes to win.
Okay,
Josh Allen's really similar in
Listen.
that respect to me, with more talent.
More
Josh
talent.
Allen.
Yeah.
I'm taking nothing away from Josh Allen, but he reminds me of a young Brett Favre, who's going to throw it up, throw a gunslinger all the way. He's on pace to break Brett Favre's record of interceptions, so he's putting it up there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We'll see how he
Well,
finishes
let me
out the
tell-
year. I mean, he's struggling. I'm not gonna make grand proclamations about him until the year is over. I mean, he's struggling right now. Everybody struggles. You know what I mean? Here and there.
That's
They're
called
still at the
hindsight.
top. Yeah, they're still at the
Hey,
top of the division.
Hey,
You know,
here
they're
I'll give you an
still.
example.
I'm
He
not
threw the
willing
ball
to
over.
sign his death warrant.
He
That's for
threw
sure.
the ball
Right.
over 40 times against Detroit. Detroit was missing their best corner. Okay, the guy Kudo or what their top 5
Jeff
pick.
Okuda.
Okuda was out the game. He threw the ball 45 times, had like 250 yards. He only completed 20 something of them, and he had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a couple that were close to being picked. When
Yeah.
you saw Tua go up there, Tua had Okuda on the other side. He still threw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and only had like 4 or 5 incomplete passes. None of them close.
Wow. Great
You gotta,
stats.
Yeah.
you got to look at the
Frankly,
difference
phenomenal.
between the way those two are playing.
Yeah.
Tua
And the
has
thing
his
about it too
confidence.
is
I think Josh Allen's losing it.
I
The
do
one thing I want
too.
to say too is that Josh Allen is a deep throw passer, and those deep throw passers are like 3-point shooters in the NBA. They're gonna miss a lot more than they make them. You know,
Yep.
you had someone like Jordan, LeBron James, or Kobe. They threw 3-pointers once in a while, but they knew when to shoot them. But they mostly went for the jump shots, and they made more jump shots. You know what I'm saying? Those guys that just do the jump shots instead of trying to live by the 3, those are the ones that have good, long, successful careers.
Hey, let me.
And that's how
That's a
Tua
good
is.
And I'm not
analogy,
diminishing.
too. That's good.
I'm not diminishing Josh Allen, because let me tell you something. If Josh Allen were to miss 3 games the way Tua did, they'd get smoked.
Buffalo would be out. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Buffalo would be
and look
Buffalo.
what happened when Tua missed those 3 games. We still lost. We were a little bit
But
more
we were in
competitive.
it. We were way more credible.
But
So, Sean, I was
He
going
Sounds
to
our
tell you
backup
like
for
my
sure.
my vision, like what I see us doing Sunday. I see us winning that game. I think it's going to be a tight game, but I still say we're going 13-4 or even 14-3, which means we went out. That may be a stretch, but
I don't know.
I see us, 13-4. I see us with that. And we're that good. We're just that team. We are that team now. And
Nice.
I know it's hard as Dolphin fans to think, okay, could we actually, especially for you younger guys who haven't seen it, but I have never seen in years and years, and I don't know that I've actually ever seen this as far as the team starting first move in the off season. I was like, oh my gosh, we're not doing dolphin like crap anymore. That is exactly what I
Guys,
said to myself.
think about this. We're 8-3, and we've been one of the most injury-plagued teams in the NFL this year. We missed our starting quarterback one for 3 games, and we're still 8-3.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's pretty good. We're off to a really good start. But I mean, honestly, Buffalo's right there with us. They are right there with us, and I'm not. I think unless Josh Allen's elbow is really jacked, I think that whatever he's doing right now ain't gonna last, and
Now,
he's
I
gonna
will
be
say this.
it's gonna be a tough out.
His
I think he's hurt
We're
more
going to
than
Buffalo.
that's on.
I can't imagine us winning that. I
Hey,
really can't.
his elbow is banged up. Don't get me wrong. He's feeling it. You could tell by the way some of his throws are. Some of the short throws. Those
Well,
are
that's
the
a
ones
huge.
having the most
That
trouble
matters to me.
It does.
with. But now, remember his problem coming into the NFL, his accuracy?
Yeah.
That's strong
becoming
arm. He's over target on everything. Everything's sailed
Yep,
high.
he's becoming that way again. And I think a lot of it, I don't think he likes this new offense that Dorsey's been trying to throw in there.
Now, that might be the ding ding. Yep.
I think a lot of it, because you got to think about his offensive coordinator went to the Giants, and now Jones isn't a world beater, but he's a hell of a lot better than what he's been.
Yeah, so we'll see about the Bills. We could talk about the Bills all day, back and forth, see if they're gonna do anything or not. It's gonna come down to 3 weeks from now, if we can beat them or not on their turf. So that's where we are with the Bills, guys. But
Guys,
it's been
Fran.
2 hours 15. We had a good show as always. I want to get final thoughts from everybody and kind of final predictions for Sunday. So we'll go, Todd. We'll go you first, brother. What's your final
Put
thoughts?
me on the spot first. No, honestly, here's the situation. Buffalo loses 2 more games, whether it's to whoever it is, and I don't think they're beating us in the division. Now, the Sunday, I'm gonna say 27-17 us, because I don't think San Fran's getting over 20 against us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So that's a solid prediction, Todd.
Hey,
Okay.
Shake, you have a wonderful night.
You too, my brother.
Pam, have a great night.
You too,
And
Tom.
guys, it's a pleasure sharing the screen with you all.
Yes,
of you.
sir. Talk to you soon, brother.
Talk to you later.
All right, Pam. Final thought on all of these things, but mostly on the Finns and Sunday with the Niners.
Okay.
Before you go, I just want to thank you in advance for this Sunday, and it was a great honor and privilege to share the screen with you.
Oh, thank you.
I just
Thanks
wanted
for
you to know
asking
that.
me up. I appreciate it, Shake. Thanks for asking me up. I feel like it's an honor to be on here with you guys, so I
love having
really
you.
appreciate it.
Yes.
So this Sunday, I see us with a win. I see it as a tight game, but I don't see their offense as doing that great. So I'm thinking like 13-27.
Okay.
Dolphins.
I like it. I'm hoping you're right. I'm definitely hoping you're right, Pam.
I put that number 13 on teams. I put it on them.
I like it. All right, yeah, you're putting the luck on them. Yes, I like it. I like it. All right, Pam. All right, join us again soon. It's always a pleasure.
I will. I
All right.
enjoyed it. Thank
All right.
you.
Good night.
Bye.
John, you're up, sir. By the way, John, you have Instagram? Because if you do, you got to hit me up on there. I want to talk to you about something.
No, I don't have Instagram, but maybe I'll get it to hit you up. That's what I'll do.
Get it and hit me up, bro. Hit me up.
All
Seriously.
right, I'll do it.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that we're going to beat San Fran. Now, a couple reasons for that. Well, one main reason, I don't think there's a lot of pressure on this game. I think this is a low-key, big game in the NFL. I don't think there's a lot of media around it. And you know what? I think the Dolphins are going to show up and win. I think it's going to be a squeaker, probably low scoring, but at the end of the day, I think we're going to win this. Now, after that, we're going to have a big Sunday night game. I think it's going to be a lot of media hoopla. We're going to have these two quarterbacks going head to head. Dolphins a hot team. I think the pressure starts to build, guys. If we win this San Francisco game, the cooker starts, all right? And so I think we win. And when we do, I'm going to be very excited about our next week's game. And I think it's going to tell a lot about what we're made of. So, yeah, love you guys here, man. Keep it up, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, John. Talk to you soon, brother. Go Fins.
See ya.
G, final thoughts, my bro.
Yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be a good test. Hopefully, Tua keeps balling. Hopefully, U.S. men can bring it home on Saturday and keep going, bring home the cup. But I think
hell yeah,
go 1-1. U.S. wins in that game. As far as the Dolphins go, Dolphins are going to win this game. How are they going to win? They're gonna blitz Jimmy G all game, or they're going to get the pressure on that guy. And I think Tua's going to get, depending on Armstead play, he might get banged up a little bit, but I think Mike McDaniel and Tua are going to have a game plan to get that. Dolphins win because I don't predict them to lose because I'm not like that. Dolphins will win this game. I'm going to go high scoring here. 42 to 38.
Ooh, okay, I like it. High scoring. Okay.
I think McCaffrey, Samuel, I think they'll, the defense, the secondary, I don't know. Because our defense plays bad on the road. That's why I'm saying they're going to probably put up a lot of points. But, yeah, Dolphins are going to keep matching them.
Okay, I like it, G. Let's hope you're right, my brother. And we'll talk to you next week as we know, and then go USA Saturday as well, sir. Later, bro. Shake Hefner, final thoughts, my bro.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, by the way, I want to apologize for not having the new setup yet, man. A lot of things happen. I just want to say RIP to my dad. He passed away 2 weeks ago.
Sorry, bro.
And yesterday was his funeral, and I finally put him to rest, man. I hope I'm not bringing the show down, but yeah. No, I just wanted to share that with you guys. No problem, man. I appreciate that. And then on a lighter note, today is my 10-year anniversary with my lady.
Congrats.
Happy anniversary, baby. Yeah.
Congrats.
10 years, man. But I am working on it. I tried doing it today, but it's like, what's funny is like when you visualize it, you're like, okay, this is going to be perfect. And then when you finally put it on camera, you're like, oh, this
yes.
way off.
I get it, bro. I've been there. I've been there because I've been doing, I get it. Trust me, yeah. I get it.
But I'm working on the new scenery. I still have the props and all that stuff. I just got to move it to another area. But yeah, man, I just wanted to say RIP to my father, who, who I love very much, and I'm glad he's in a much better place. And I think the Dolphins will win 27-20. And at the end of the day, man, listen, this isn't college football. This isn't, like, say, for instance, I'm a Gators fan and we're playing Appalachian State, or we're playing one of those D1 schools and we only win by 7. Of course, you have every right to be mad because the competition is nowhere near the same. You should be blowing those teams out. This is the NFL. The competition is NFL versus NFL for a reason. You know what I mean? Any given Sunday for a reason. So at the end of the day, a Super Bowl that a team won by 50 or a Super Bowl won by 1 point is still a Super Bowl trophy.
Yes.
So there's no style points in the NFL. So even if we win by a blowout or by a little bit, in the NFL, a win is a win, and let's enjoy it. And I will drink my salty to that victory, no matter what the score is. Fins up, and love you guys. Thank you, man.
We'll talk to you soon, my brother. Later. So you heard some, a lot of different things that Shake's going through, man. We're a family here, it's Fury fam, so we obviously share the lows, the highs, and everything that goes on. And I really thank everybody for joining us tonight. It was an extra long show, had a lot of conversation, had a lot of memories just sharing. Just, the Fins are good, so we're in high spirits, and we're just talking. And, we go off, and I know people in the comments were a little bit like, oh, you're not paying attention. always welcome to hop on the show with us. We try to engage everybody on the show as best we can in the comments, but sometimes, the conversation just gets going, it gets late, and things happen. So if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, smash that subscribe button. Smash that like button. We're trying to get to at least 1,200 subscribers by the end of tonight, if possible. Let's go Fins on Sunday. I want to say we win. I want to say we got this. I feel better after talking to this panel, that's for sure. I feel much better after talking to this panel, and I feel like we have a chance. But I think it's going to be a tough, and I've been saying this is going to be a tough game, and this is going to be a tough road stretch for us. It's going to tell us a lot about where this team is going this season. So let's hope we rise to the occasion and we win some games. And if something happens this week and it doesn't go the way we want, it's not the end of the world. But remember, if we win it, we're ahead of the 8 ball, in my opinion. We're really, really setting the tone and doing what we want. Let's hope that's what happens. Subscribe. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the views. Keep checking back for more content. Keep coming back and hopping on the panel. Love all you guys. Fury fan for life. Fins up. Good night.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day.